Yes, my favorite castle.
You chained me to this rock and fed my liver to an eagle.
Out of love.
Hello everybody, welcome to a new series on this channel. I didn't think of a better name for this, to be honest, and I'm not even going to try. But anyways, welcome to Mythos and World, Episode 1, Mythology and Portrayal. And hopefully one of my guests comes in soon enough. But I have enough guests here for the moment that I think I can work fine. Hopefully he comes. Where are you, Odinson? Anyways, please welcome first, the champion.
The gods claim it is a place of shadows and sadness. But what do the gods know of death? What do they know of me?
Good morning, good morning.
Next up, welcome. Where is it? Here it is.
Hello,
Nice
and
intro.
yes, that was funny.
Yeah, I knew you'd like it. I was like, man, what would I play if that were... Wait, what about Zeus?
Yeah, Greek mythology in the game.
Yeah, that's essentially Immortal Phoenix Rising, Greek mythology. Okay.
Hey,
and finally-
weren't we trying to write a novel like that?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we're trying to make our own American light novel where we just make the jokes about majority of mythology.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad that Ubisoft beat you to the punch.
They didn't beat us to the punch just yet.
Come
No,
on.
it's still on the back burner somewhere,
Hey.
Yeah.
but it's really funny.
Anyways, next up, please welcome.
Wendigo is a Cree Indian word. It means evil that devours.
They're hundreds of years old. Each one was once a man.
And they are immortal and eat you and are cannibals. They are fucking terrifying.
Oh, and they're much worse. For example, to brush up on my history, I visited a Native American museum website, and they updated because they found a recent notebook talking about the Wendigo. And yeah, there's a lot more crazy stuff they found on it.
Yeah, I only know the basics, but it's...
And this is from the 1710s.
To quote the fighting expert on Native American mythology, here's how many ways you're fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
50 Shades of screw over.
there's a reason why in my first vignette I decided to go with, what's something terrifying? I know, a Wendigo.
They are much worse.
You know,
They
Wendigo
are
is
way worse.
You know, Wendigo is more of a disease, mythical disease, than a creature. Like the creature was made afterwards.
Yeah,
I do
but
know that.
here's the thing. You know how, with Jewish culture, leopards are unclean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, pretty much what the new notebook says is that Wendigos, sometimes they look for mates. How they do that is that they take a victim, then force feed them until they become a Wendigo.
We'll force you to become a cannibal.
You know, I'm actually tempted to make a joke at this moment regarding my mother.
No.
Um,
No.
that is
Bad wolf.
terrifying.
Do I have to give my glaive?
No. You just need to get the bat. Just get the bat.
Yeah. Oh, they mean the bat that I hold control over? You see?
You mean nunchucks, which are useless?
No. He has other things. He has a hammer.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there's a hammer, there's a sword, there's a gun. Well, actually, here, let me introduce you to the first weapon tool by Arsenal to remove something from the stream. It's called... Keep on top. Keep a topic, and you'll live for about 5 seconds longer.
Yeah, and don't be too horny, otherwise he'll bring out the hammer.
No, be too horny, and I'll send you to the horny morgue.
Well, to keep on topic, there is one mythology in Native American culture here in Michigan that perfectly describes wolf.
Uh-oh.
What?
The dog man.
Go on.
Let me pull up my notes.
Are they anything at all like the skinwalkers?
Well, there are a bunch. It's really weird because most basic description of them is that they're practically werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what a werewolf is. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's really, really creepy about them is that Michigan used to be a lumber state. Like, we were the state to get lumber, hence, like, lumberjacks. Like, all the lumberjack myths actually originate from Michigan.
Oh, wow.
Like, Paul Bunyan and his ox Blue. Like, that's from Michigan. Like, the American pancake is from Michigan, the flapjack. And one thing that makes the dogmen so creepy is that they would specifically prey on lumberjacks. And apparently what a lot of quote-unquote reports say is that one day while working on setting up a burn mine, you look up to check on what your buddy's doing, look down to start the kindling, look up, and your buddy is hanging from a tree with a branch through him.
Wait. That sounds oddly familiar. Wolf, didn't you do something like that in one of our godlike sessions?
Yeah, it was a mission where you had to go find Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Well, having that little thing,
what's in our itinerary?
Yeah, okay then. Our itinerary for today is discussing mythology and portrayal. And this show's actually going to call representation, but that can be easily misconstrued to mean two different things. Representation in terms of how it's portrayed, and representation as in the left is there's not enough black people in my Greek mythology. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough black people in my.
It's like, we're in Rome. Why are there so many freaking black people here?
Well, the thing is that you can. It's more of like, can you explain why there's so many black people? Like, you could easily just say, "Oh, they're slaves."
Yeah.
It's when they're normal citizenry or major characters. It's like,
no, even then, like slaves, it just doesn't work because like the Romans, like they were extremely racist.
Well, the thing is that slavery was a big market for them.
It was.
But with a lot of like
the racism that occurs like in ancient world is different from the racism we normally think of. Right?
Oh yeah, I know.
So it's like it wouldn't be like ridiculous. It's as long as like the way slavery is portrayed, if you were to do a movie, right, of that time period being like different than what is normally associated with slavery, then it's like it would be quote unquote accurate.
Well, there was this one centurion. Metatron did a video on it, and I am blanking on his name, but he saw a black slave, thought it was a bad omen, so he ordered his house. Well, he ordered all his servants to, like, kill all the black people working his fields.
Damn.
Yeah, well, that's one. Like, it's more of like one guy, right? You have there's definitely cases.
I would
right?
say that even though that's like more of superstition with the supernatural than actual racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When people think of racism these days, they think of the black slaves in America, not how it actually was.
Here's the thing, actually,
Jewish anti-Semitism.
Like, and also the fact that if you weren't a Roman citizen or a pure Roman, you were beneath everyone.
Just remember this. If you ever had to trace anywhere, just remember that the biggest race wars to happen were between fellow Europeans, Asians, and Africans. They were the biggest race wars.
Yep.
There's, hell, to this day, we still have a race war in Europe. It's called the Britons.
And remember, the French are the worst people on the planet.
Yeah,
it's always the French.
Do you understand how a lot of the times I just keep bashing the French in my own damn campaigns?
Well, if you want to bash them even more, like Michigan, it has a very, very weird history. So,
we need to get back on topic now.
Yeah, we're way off topic.
Yeah, okay. But it also goes back to mythology as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just send her back on topic.
Say it for afterwards. We're 12 minutes in, we have yet to even start on the fucking topic. So,
hey, by the way, this is actually the most on topic we've been on our tangents.
Yeah. So, okay. So originally I was going to make a presentation so we all know to take our track, but I was like, fuck that mess, I might as well just improvise. So I already have the general thesis of how we're going to go about this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're only going to be covering 3 of the big mythologies today. Those are these being Greek, Norse, and Egyptian.
I actually know a fair bit about all 3, so
yeah.
Same.
I'm pretty sure everybody here has some knowledge. I'm pretty sure everybody here has some knowledge on all 3 of them, and particularly did understand why these 3 were chosen to be discussed about. So,
I was surprised you didn't pick Japanese.
It's one of the least covered mythologies.
Really?
Yeah, Shintoism is rarely if ever covered, as far as I see.
I'm going to have to do a little bit of studying for when we get there.
Yeah. Like, honestly, actually, surprisingly enough, Eastern mythology isn't really covered or represented, which is actually kind of weird. Because you think with
like anime and...
Technically speaking, it's a 50-50 split. Because here's the thing, like, even anime just kind of doesn't really do Eastern mythology a whole lot. They do a lot of it.
Yokai. They do a lot of yokai stuff.
They do a lot of yokai, but that's really all they do. They don't do the full spectrum of things. You don't really cover the Oni. They don't cover, like, the gods and full, like, really is Eastern mythology really touched upon, all things considered. They're, like, sometimes they scratch the surface, but they don't really get too deep into it. It's, like, I think, like, the only Eastern mythology, like, I think, like, there's, like, a few games out there that do cover a bit of Eastern mythology, Okami being one of them.
Okami was a good game.
Yeah, it's
hey,
so fun.
Elysium Dragon, enjoy your day off of not suffering from terrible fanfic that Wolf came up with.
And I'm still at just you wait, motherfucker. You better sleep with one eye open.
I did give you a couple that were of really high quality as palate cleansers, so...
Oh, well, I know.
Well, here's the thing, Neff. He likes specific people in their specific horrible fanfics.
Oh, I know.
I
know.
You act as if I'm. You know what? That's why I chose that intro. You know, that's why I chose that intro, because that's like, I'm Zeus and you're Prometheus.
Yeah,
my favorite cousin.
Well, let's just start with Greece then. We might as well.
I'll going to start with Greek. So first, let's cover the general what a lot of Greek stories usually have is like essentially their stories. And I mean more like their messages they carry.
Okay, messages.
Yes, and I actually mean like what like the moral of their stories are.
They're usually about a virtue. Most
Yes.
like they're usually about a virtue. There's two types. Like you have you got the tragic element, but usually it's about the hero wins because he has a certain virtue that the storyteller wants to highlight. Like Odysseus is clever, Hercules is like strong and mighty, and or like those are the two usual things. And then when it comes to tragedy, it's usually the hero ends up becoming his own downfall because of his personal flaws.
Which is hubris.
It's
Like
it's
Achilles.
usually yeah. Yeah, I was thinking more like in the play, like in Europe. What's that? The Oresteia trilogy.
Oh,
You could.
the one I think of is a weapon.
I'm trying to remember the one. Oh, the Oedipus trilogy, the final one. What's that name? Because that was a
Oedipus trilogy.
It's one of his daughters.
I know what you're talking about.
Antigone.
Yeah.
So the king there, who was not the brothers, like the tragedy there was that the king was made this law to not have one of the brothers who went to war with each other over the Theban throne fight, and he was blinded by like a pride tied to him with the rules of the city and not doing like the quote unquote doing the right thing of providing a proper burial, which led him into having Antigone being essentially buried alive. And then as a result, like he lost his wife and his daughter, I think, like basically his personal life fell apart for the sake of his virtue for the city, but he took it too far.
And then there's King Midas with his story of gold.
The King Midas
like,
and his golden touch.
Yes. Like, wealth was his virtue, but his downfall was because of his greed, he himself turned to gold.
Or he turned his daughter.
Yeah.
And that's what broke him.
Yep. And actually, like, the story of that is, like, that's actually, like, the one of the earliest origins of the monkey paw. Be careful what you wish for.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they actually highlighted how Midas was not a smart man.
Yeah, he didn't think that through.
Especially when he was picking between two either it was like a satyr versus Apollo, and he chose the satyr.
Let me see here. King Midas.
Yeah, he got donkey ears and a tail.
Yeah, like, here it is.
And then there's the tale of the Minotaur.
Yeah.
That was about don't piss off Poseidon.
Yeah. Otherwise, he'll make your wife sleep with a bull.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And not in like the modern day sexual sense, in the literal bull.
Yeah.
Yes, it was quite literal.
Yeah, Poseidon is like an interesting character where as a kid you think he's kind of cool, and like you read Percy Jackson, the Olympians, and you think he's kind of a cool guy, and then you actually read mythologies, especially the older versions before Zeus came to being.
And you just say,
Poseidon's
fuck.
the biggest. Like, if you have to compare between Poseidon and Zeus, Poseidon's the bigger dick.
He is.
Yeah, and of the three brothers, Hades is the one that's most chill. That does not make him a good guy.
Is the Chad.
Hades is the Switzerland of Greek mythology.
Yeah, because Hades was the only one of the brothers. It was the only one of the siblings that was completely content with ruling the underworld.
And also, he did steal one woman, but then that woman became his wife, and they both have.
Surprisingly, all they consider Persephone actually loved Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I looked into it, and it wasn't a satyr; it was the god of satyrs, Pan.
Oh, okay.
But
Did Apollo turn Pan into a drum?
What?
Or kind of, it was something weird.
Anyways, but yeah, that is just one of many stories recurring, and now we have seasons. Yep,
Yes.
that is how that is like how now we have seasons. Was
Well,
that?
the reason we have seasons is because Demeter is
Yeah,
such
I was about to say it. I was about to actually get into it.
Oh,
When Persephone was kidnapped, Demeter waited for a long time, causing life to die. So Persephone returned, and she was finally able to. Since she was finally able to bring life back, but because the fact she ate the pomegranate seed, she'd have to return to the underworld. So the months when there's so for the 6 months we have spring and summer, winter's life, and then for the 6 months that she's gone, we have fall to winter when life starts to die.
Mm-hmm.
Until you reach Michigan, and it's just like weird things happen.
And
that must be the epicenter of where Persephone got kidnapped.
It's there where Demeter can't make up her fucking mind what season it is. Essentially the weather there is bipolar.
Yeah.
Like the sun is coming out, so it's going to reach like high 40, so it's about springtime. We skipped winter.
Media is a great.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a tragic figure. And then there's Medusa.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that's a funny thing about Medusa. There's actually two versions you could take on it. Like, one, is like Athena's a jerk. But the other one is that...
Besides a dick.
Yeah.
Well, he's still a jerk either way, Poseidon. But, like, Athena... Actually, the reason for the curse was to protect her from any more abuse. That if you look at that way, then it's Medusa who took it the wrong way.
If anything, and one way or another.
Interesting take, actually.
You haven't heard that take?
No, I haven't.
That is a take that is this, though. That is an actual take, is that Athena cursed Medusa to protect her. Well, all I can say is, like, great job. Like, literally, like, I'm actually looking at it going like the overall, good job.
Yeah.
And then there's Arachne. Oh my god, there's Arachne.
Yeah, Wolf and I had a discussion about it.
Yeah,
I don't know how I can't justify Athena.
Yeah, if anything, that is actually the one story where there's no alternate take that makes Athena look any better. No matter which way you look at it, Athena was responsible for her.
Especially that one story.
Well, she had no sense of humor.
Yeah, well, no. Wolf, should I tell the one story you and I talked about?
Go ahead.
Please.
So, during Athena and Arachne, they were telling each other stories to try and one-up each other because, you know, Athena and her ego has to be the best of everything. So Athena decided to tell the story of she found a very handsome mortal man, wanted to sleep with him. Like
what?
Every god, but here's the kicker. The man was so loyal to his wife, he said, even though you may be a goddess on Olympus, I will still stay true to my wife. So Athena didn't take it that well. Then what Athena did is that she shapeshifted into the guy, slept with his wife. Once the guy got home, she turned back into Athena, looked at him, and then walked away.
Yeah,
that makes no sense. Okay, that story makes no sense. Athena
was petty.
No, that makes no sense because Athena is like
one of the 3 virgin goddesses.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, the defense was her hymen taken.
No, Wolf. No.
Yeah,
Plus, that story sounds something what Aphrodite would do.
Yeah, it does. It
sorry, would
really,
you like to-
really does.
I'm sorry, would you like to argue with the god again?
Oh no, we're not arguing.
We're not arguing.
We're just saying that is way out of character for her.
Yeah, that seems
Well,
more
again,
that seems
Again,
more
like it's between Athena and Arachne, so
It's like they're making up stories essentially. So she's just making up a story. All right, so that could no, she didn't sleep with the guy, but she made up a story of how she tried to sleep with the guy. Guy said no. She slept with the guy's wife and said, "You should have just slept with me."
Yeah, but then some guy would just go in the crowd like, Athena, would you actually do that? Because give it to your past history. That sounds more what Aphrodite would do.
Yeah, needless to say, Arachne burnt her hard, and then she cursed Arachne. But ultimately, another big part about Greek mythology, though, is the gods and goddesses, obviously. There is no good and evil when it comes to them. There's just a shit ton of gray, because here's the thing. One god in one story could be completely and utterly helpful. That same god in another story can be the worst person imaginable.
Yep.
Sometimes it happens in the same story.
Yeah. The only god that's kept consistent is Hades.
Mm.
And Persephone.
Yeah, those two.
Look, considering Hades rules the underworld. He cares not what goes on with the living, as long as the dead end up back in the underworld.
Except for one case.
Actually, I do remember this one correctly. Is with Asclepius. He brought one person back to life, and then he killed Asclepius because, like, you disobey my rule. That person's dead. Don't.
Yeah,
No, I remember that one.
I'm talking about the one about Theseus's bro who wants to take Persephone. Thought that was a smart idea.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, look at this. By the way, Hades won. He got amusement and a new soul. So hey, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just like, hey, we're here to take Persephone back up.
Hey,
I think there was this one tale of one guy who wanted to get his wife back, and the one rule.
Oh yeah.
One rule he was given was you cannot look back at her, and he looks back at her.
Orpheus.
Yeah.
Orpheus.
The rule was do not look back at her until you have cleared the sight of the gates.
Yeah.
Looks back.
And what does he do? As soon as they are
almost
both
there.
out of the gates, he looks back at her. It's like, no, you gotta walk another 20 miles.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of like, let's say, hey, look at it like this. Desi is his brother. Well, all we can say is that Hayes no longer has to defeat Cerberus. At least that time.
And then the most hilarious thing about with the guy who looks back at his wife, he played such horrible tunes that eventually a bunch of wives killed him.
Well, yeah, because he kept on singing all these sad songs in the forest because of his stupidity, because of his last-minute horniness.
Died, the water soured, souls turned gray, and then all the women are just like, let's kill him.
It's like, oh, okay, you shut up for 1 fucking second. I'm trying to have a nice day. Thank you very much. Also, thanks. Also, thank you, Occupation Army.
Yeah. Just say he's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Essentially, the entire story is all about how. Essentially, the entire story is Orpheus is. How much is it? It's like, no dumb man could ever exist. Orpheus exists. He's the dumbest man alive. Or was.
And then there's like almost every tale where Zeus can't keep it in his freaking pants.
That's the start of every that's actually just the default beginning. Like anytime you make it, if somebody ever tell you it's a Greek mythology story, here people just go, okay, the main character is the son of Zeus. That's like the trope, no matter what.
Even funnily enough, we only have 50 confirmed sons of Zeus.
And Hercules is just the one that's best known.
Yeah.
Heracles is the most known. Then there's also, well, actually, Perseus is also one of the most well known because he's the only
Perseus?
Greek hero. Yeah, because he's the only one of all the heroes that actually had a happy ending.
Yeah, he actually did, like, he had a happy wife. Like, he accidentally, the only thing happened to him was he accidentally killed his grandfather.
And that was about it. Otherwise,
But it was an accident. It was.
Yeah.
He didn't even know the guy. The guy threw his mother and him into the sea in a box.
Yeah, like that's like one of the few tales of one of Zeus' sons that actually was happy ever after. It wasn't completely fucked by Hera, and not in the good sense
surprising. That's surprising that Hera didn't just go after Perseus.
She certainly went after Hercules and every other son that Zeus had that wasn't with her.
Was it part of a deal? Like, did Zeus have to negotiate with Hera? It's like, okay.
I don't even want to start thinking about that.
Here's the thing I remember correctly. Exactly, she tried to kill Apollo and Artemis. It's like she has tried a lot of times to kill every child that Zeus has ever fathered.
Yeah.
No.
Because she's actually one of the few gods where you can say a lot of her actions are villainous, but you can understand where she's coming from.
She did have a daughter.
Yes,
he had daughters.
He had daughters. One of them, I believe,
Athena.
burst out of his head.
That was Athena.
That was Athena.
Yeah, it was okay. She was his child of Mentis.
The first wife.
And
the
he
first
turned
waifu.
They turned into a fly and swallowed her. And while she was digesting his stomach, she gave her to Athena. And then at some time at her point, Zeus was suffering a massive headache, and literally pop out of the top of his head was Athena.
Yeah, in full armor, by the way. She was actually building, in his skull, she was forging her clothes and equipment and her helmet.
Yeah. She was the only one I've heard that Hera liked, because she had no identifiable mother in sight.
Yeah. Yeah, because Zeus swallowed... Because...
And also expand upon his Azrael. If you didn't beat her in the foot race, she would murder you.
Yeah, she would. Yeah. That's why you needed, golden apples, because apparently she really liked apples.
Because actually that's the thing about Atalanta. She's a great huntress, but because her major flaw is she's an immense she immensely believes in survival of the fittest. It actually kind of does make sense in terms of why fate categorize her as neutral evil, because she's survival of the fittest. Yeah.
Okay, so are we talking about portrayals?
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to portrayals. I think we got enough. So you got the major context. A lot of Greek stories are usually fucked up in a sense of bullshit. They usually cover your flaws, and they usually almost always have the gods be in a very new, almost kind of flip-floppy light.
Some gods will be, and you automatically get the starter pack of being a Greek hero because your daddy turned out to be Zeus, and thus you get Hera to always hound you.
So before we get on to the good portrayals of Greek mythology,
oh no, not the bad ones.
We gotta start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. So I might as well get this out of the way. Let's start with the one that will no doubt get a lot of people pissed.
And that one is
God of War.
Yeah,
Aries. Oh my goodness.
Not Aries.
No, yeah, that's as.
Oh yeah, you mean the games?
They took essentially the main problem with God of War. I haven't played the first one, but I have played the fourth one, and I haven't played the other two. But what I heard,
you mean
the first one is
the other four? There are four other games before four.
Yeah. I'm talking about official timeline, not spin-offs and other. Basically, the first game is the most accurate to Greek mythology, and then
every game's like fuck you.
And then and then it went off the rails. And then the new God of War with God of War 4 is basically a realignment, which is a cool mythology thing. Actually, a cool transition of storytelling when we get to it.
But even then, calling the first game accurate Greek myth is like calling is saying that what is essentially saying that essentially saying like this pile of shit is less thinking than the other two piles
I have
of
a
shit.
better example.
Yeah, okay.
Saying that the God of War games are accurate to Greek mythology is like saying Game of Thrones and The Last Jedi no proper sword fighting.
Okay, that's actually kind of true.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say the main problem with the God of War, like in terms of how they handle Greek mythology, is that it's Zack Snyder's God of War.
Yeah, it's essentially Zack Snyder's God of War. Where I called it this: edgy Greek myth, which is really saying something.
Yeah. Which okay, we got the point about the gods are dicks, right?
Right, because even the gods had their redeeming factors. Because here's the
It
thing, actually.
didn't mean that they weren't dicks. It just meant that they could be not dicks once in a while.
Because here's the thing, actually. Zeus, for all intents and purposes, had a point for why he was cruel as a ruler. Because think of it like this. Every other god was not as good intention as Zeus was, and even that's really saying something. But the didn't very consistent either. Zeus, in pretty much every portrayal he's been in, has always been consistent in terms of how he'll do his actions. He'll punish those that go out of line, but he'll equally do not do anything to those that follow the rules. He'll rarely take
stands. Also, Zeus liked humans.
Yeah.
Some more than others, literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Zeus, for all intents and purposes, keeps the peace on Olympus and on the lower world. Because that is his thing. And above all else, he'll punish those that break the rules, whether they be god or human. But if you follow the rules, you will not be punished. Now then, let me explain to you exactly why this is. At some point or another, there was a rebellion of the Greek gods. They tried to overthrow Zeus. There was only this one attempt, however. And
Hera was one of the main instigators, and
and there's just this one. There was just this one little thing. They failed, and never again did they try.
Yeah, because Zeus made examples of Hera.
I forget. Also, wasn't Prometheus like also one of the instigators of the rebellion?
He was. Remember.
Yeah, he was. He also took part of.
He did a whole bunch. Basically, a whole bunch of gods got punished, but Hera got literally hanging in the sky for a couple days treatment.
And actually, here's a very funny thing. There is actually a person in Greek mythology called Kratos. He was the one that suggested that Zeus chained Prometheus to a rock.
Mm-hmm.
For his punishment for trying to rebel against the gods. I am not even joking.
Wasn't Prometheus the one that brought fire?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was both the one that brought fire and also was one of the ones that tried to rebel. And his punishment, Kratos was like, hey, chain this guy to a rock. Okay, chain him to a rock.
And then Zeus just goes, I can't just have him chained to a rock. Okay, let's just have a bird that eats his kids.
Yeah.
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 That's very cruel. Every day the bird would come and eat his liver. I believe it was his liver. Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah,
and then it would grow back that night, and it was an endless cycle.
Yes. So it'll joke at the beginning. And Immortal Phoenix Rising, it's like, you will have me chained to this rock and add my liver to an eagle out of love.
Yeah.
One of his best openings.
Yes, I'm looking forward to talking about the better portrayal. But anyway,
yeah, we'll get to that. But with that context in mind, I want you to very much also here's another one. When anybody asks what is Ares in Greek mythology, anybody knows even a little bit more about Greek mythology than the average person would know that Ares is actually the least popular god. Not even Sparta worshipped him.
Yeah.
No, Sparta worshipped the original Aphrodite, who was not just the goddess of love, but the goddess of war as well.
Strategic war.
Just remember this, actually. Just remember this. A Spartan was more likely to pray to Athena than to Ares. They're like, oh, Athena, please guide me in battle against Athens and Ares.
But Ares is a sad kid. Like, he got the horrible job of being like the god of war, which is means you have to indulge in bloodthirsty, and yet everyone doesn't like you.
it's like
yeah,
so,
Aries is a sad boy.
Yeah, like
here's
there's a reason.
Here's a prank that went wrong on Aries is that they locked him and Aphrodite in a room. Aries got the last laugh because Aphrodite ended up having a child with him.
Named Harmonia.
Yep.
Yes, that's literally her. He literally gave birth to seeded harmony.
But yes, with that in mind, let's begin with the major problem the God of War gives, and that being the main character himself, Kratos.
Well, actually, the main problem with God of War is like Kratos himself as a concept and is okay. Like the main problem is that they made the gods too villainous so much that they had to explain in God of War 3 of how they were all super jerks and essentially in the most stupidest way possible.
Well, Pandora's box. And
I already knew that.
No. Actually, they took their dickness and multiplied it by a factor of 1,000.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
100,000.
And either way, they became like massive dicks. Now, in the first game, they explain this through something that they should have recognized in the first game. Is that when Kratos opened Pandora's box to kill Ares, is that what he didn't open was the power to kill the gods. What he opened was all the world's evils, and he got all the world's hope.
Yeah, I remember the tale of Pandora's box.
Yeah.
He closed it before Hope could get out, and then somebody else had to open it again.
Yeah. He had to, because apparently only Pandora's box has the power to kill the gods, despite the fact that actually, if anybody knows anything about Greek myth, the gods are immortal. It was their blood, the E-core, that prevented them from being killed in the first place.
Yeah, and plus gods were...
Because you're saying, hey, also, this is actually one of the major inaccurate portrayals of Greek mythology in God of War. How Hades is betrayed. Hades betrayed.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's just like a normal thing. We should just put normal bad portrayals.
Okay, yeah. Actually, hang on. Let me take care of that right now. So, a common bad portrayal of all Greek mythology is Hades is usually the bad guy, or the realm of Hades is hell. This is not the case.
No! The realm of Hades is where the regular dead go. And then there's the garden.
Hell. It contains hell, but it's not hell.
Yeah, hell is Tartarus. Those are two different places.
Actually, I'll say Tartarus is more...
are in the same kind of place.
Tartarus is actually also kind of specific. It's either purgatory or it's hell.
Yeah, it's either or. But, well...
Yeah, underworlds in Greek myth. Because I actually remember, because I actually do think there actually was a hell. It's just not Greek. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. What?
Oh, DWLW.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hail, Neff. Hello. Hail, Wolf, Neff, Defying Expert, the Holy Ninja, chat. Hail, DWLW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Hades is where you go to be judged.
Yeah. You either go to I forget the garden's name.
Elysium is where you'd go.
Yeah, Elysium.
Those are for where the warriors go. Those that had an easy, yeah. Those are usually where the warriors go. Curious. There's Tartarus, Asphodel Meadows, Morning Fields, and Elysium. Tartarus is the hell.
Yeah,
it's also where all the Titans are locked up. Then there's Asphodels, and the Asphodel Meadows is purgatory. Because you go there if you don't have any kind of significant crime enough that really warrants you for anything else. The Morning Fields is where you'd go if you had wasted your entire life on unrequited love. Elysium is heaven, essentially.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing Gladiator got right.
Yes, the Elysium Fields. Such a lovely garden.
Yes.
Except for that one guy named Thagrius who keeps coming around and killing every warrior.
Wait, who?
Thagrius.
Thagrius?
Yes,
Yeah.
Agrius.
And let's not forget
It's a
about
Hades
Atlas.
joke. It's a joke about Hades, the game.
Oh, yeah. Boy,
Wait, you haven't played that game yet?
No, I've not. I'll get to it sometime.
Oh my goodness, you have an Xbox.
I am aware of this. I'll get
Chad,
to it.
you need to shame Wolf.
Shame me for what exactly?
You are a Greek mythology fan, and Hades is awesome.
I will get to it at some point in the future. You will give me the time, and I'll take care of it.
Me just polishing my armor and be like, you want to shame me?
And then there's the story of Atlas, I believe. Yeah.
Atlas. I love how, was it Hercules that trolled him?
Yes,
it was
it was Hercules that did
Yeah,
that.
it was Heracles. He's like, here, I'll hold the world for you. You go take a break. Okay, hang on. You might actually spy just for me. I need to like go grab something. Oh, sure. Wait, where are you going?
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Be like, oh no, I'm going to sneeze. Oh no, here.
But basically, you know, the job of
He
Atlas
held up the
is.
sky.
Yeah, but you know why, right?
It's like,
I believe it was a punishment from Zeus for something.
Well, yes, but also this Gaia and her husband are the earth and sky.
yep.
Oh yeah, have to keep them apart.
Yes. So he's literally.
Oh yeah.
The man was troll. It's like, oh, thank God. What? The list is long, my friend. Yeah, see, I have a very long list. You have a very long list to go through in order to shame me. Hey, good luck.
Mhm.
No, there's a list of things to be shameful about.
Maybe. But anyways, so enough jokes about that aside. Let's get back on topic with God of War.
Mhm.
Now then, I actually say this is kind of like a thing regarding Greek mythology as a whole, is that rarely does its stories ever really do major whole on revenge. And most of the time it's vengeance, but never really revenge.
Yeah, that's actually true. There's not really like a true revenge story.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Like Achilles killing Hector, that's less revenge and more vengeance. Because here's the thing about revenge. Revenge applies that the person that was wronged has to be alive in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the end of
Like
the
the end of
Odyssey
the Alien would
without-
probably be more revenge, but that's like one case out of like we have like tons of
How
stories of
many?
Greek. Yeah, we got tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Odysseus killing the servants that were loyal to all the people trying to encroach on his wife.
Yeah, that was less revenge and more of just
Hippity
trying to-
hoppity, get off my property.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was quite literally the old man that came back and shot up every single person. I'm like, hello,
Yeah, they were.
who are your king? It's like, hello, who are your king of romance? The woman and the queen of Ithaca, and all the raise their heads. Okay, can you mind standing over there for 1 second? And then just and then they get doused on with Greek fire.
Yeah.
Well, first,
And-
it's just like,
Hey, you got
this old man is going to shoot through all the axe heads. Let's watch this. He shoots through all, look back at him. Oh, fuck, that's Odysseus.
Yeah,
And then-
Pretty
It's better.
much.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing I actually did that I learned about Odysseus is that he's actually related to the gods, but not as close as people say Achilles is. Is that he's only the
Or
grandson?
Or
He's the-
Heracles.
Yeah, he's the grandson of Hermes through his
Yeah.
mother.
Hmm.
Yeah, but with this in mind, there's a reason why I brought this up. Because God of War is not a vengeance story; it's a revenge story. And this is what they quotely said: a Herculean anti-hero. Now then, you gotta be very specific about this. Because here's the thing: Hercules was
Wait. I think the same thing happens to Kratos that happens to Heracles.
Yes.
They both
Oh yeah.
both
Oh yeah.
are manipulated into killing their families.
Yeah, but
But-
the key
the difference-
difference is that Hercules' personality, a key part of him, is that he does something stupid or mean or something, but he instantly regrets it and tries to rectify the issue.
Yeah.
That's why he went on his 12 labors, is that it was all for him trying to atone for his big screw up.
Because here's the thing, Heracles has the knowledge to know that even if I'm cursed, it's still my hands that did the action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kratos is like, I want revenge. Oh, good. I kill Ares. Yay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
I want to die now. Zeus is like, nope, you get to live. Oh, fine.
Because this is the thing now. It's like he blames Ares for killing his family. Well, if you killed your, because here's the thing actually. Kratos was slaughtering innocents left and right. It's once he was his family, it's like, oh shit, this is no. It's like,
and then all of a sudden he cares deeply that he killed his wife and daughter. Yet he sleeps with like women every 10 seconds in the original trilogy.
Threesome mini game. I'm not even joking.
Oh my god.
yeah, with the candlestick.
Yeah, and then like everything changed with God of War 4. Like basically, it seems like my thesis is that maybe the first game is great, but the other two maybe great on gameplay.
I'm gonna tell you this, Ninja. From like what I keep seeing like gameplay footage, it just looks like Devil May Cry, but it looks like the Devil May Cry. Like it has
fun. It's fun in its own way.
I like God of War 4. But when you compare it to consistency of mythology, no.
Well, God of War 4 is more consistent.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, let's just...
I like to keep on track, please.
Yeah.
So, yes. Getting back over to this. Because we now have a problem right there. Is that this story is about revenge and not the other way around. Now then. The thing is that he made a deal with Athena when they first came. Is that I do your job, you absolve me of my sins. What he failed to realize was, yeah, she did that when he killed Ares. What he failed to then realize was that she absolved the God's judgment of your sins. You need to judge yourself. And so it's like, you didn't do anything for me. You didn't take away the sins. No. You still have yet to forgive yourself. It took him 3 games to realize this. It took him till God of War 3 to realize, maybe I am a terrible person.
Yeah, that makes... Actually, that does, like, in terms of a trilogy, makes little sense.
Yeah.
Because you got, like, usually in, like, the first one is your first act, if you're doing it purposely as a trilogy. But then, like, you know, the second game, like, if
honestly, I just get the feeling that it wasn't even planned to be a trilogy, considering how, like, very close-ended the first game's ending is.
That could be true.
Mm-hmm.
That could be just a case that is like, oh, we have a hit. Let's make more games.
Because, like, here's the thing, like, even though Halo had a very similar thing where the first game's ending was very closed-ended, it's still like, but when it came to stuff like, yeah, let's make a trilogy out of this, they still kept consistency between each and every single game, but it felt like, yeah, if this was actually planned to be a trilogy, you could see it happening. But when it comes to God of War, it's the one. It's like one of those trilogies that felt like it was a mistake. It becoming a success was an accident, and so it became big, and so they decided to make more. So, what is the plot of the second game? Is that now Zeus turned on Kratos? Okay, if Zeus turned on Kratos, he would be immediately dead, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: if Zeus wanted to kill a god, he wouldn't go through first draining him of his godly power. He'll just smite you back into Tartarus. He wouldn't even go for the killing path. He would just lock you up in Tartarus.
Yeah. Or lock you up somewhere.
He do what he did to Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would just become a statue or something. Like
And also what makes things even more annoying is like Kratos, he's a Spartan. So it's like the whole premise of like, oh yeah, you have to forgive yourself, and Kratos is not being able to do that. It's like, did you not look at Spartan history? Like, they were the most humble people.
Yeah, he's literally the antithesis of a Spartan. Like he's a Spartan in name only, but he's not a true Spartan.
No, Spartans, they had respect for old people, because if you could live that long, you were as great as a king.
Also, they don't talk as much as. Like, in fact, like I hate to bring up God of War 4, but God of War 4 actually did his Spartan angle a lot better.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, which is strange because in the Norse mythology game, they did the entire point of a Greek mythology story better in a Norse mythology game.
Yeah, I would like to talk about that later, but let's just is that it for God of War?
Well, we're getting to the end now. So Kratos in his quest for revenge kills pretty much everybody on the fucking earth,
Except for Aphrodite. Somehow she survived and has not been brought up yet.
Her fate's slightly ambiguous, but he kills, like, in the beginning of God of War 3, he first immediately kills Poseidon, drowning pretty much everybody on Earth, and then he kills... You don't even get to kill... Essentially, this is the best way I could kind of describe the God of War trilogy set in Greece, is that it's the ultimate O.C. Mary Sue fanfiction you could probably find, where you just get to kill all the gods and heroes, where not really acknowledging... Like, here's the thing. I really draw the bullshit line, because here's the thing, he was no longer God by the end of God of Fight and getting God of War 2, and yeah, he goes up against fucking Heracles. I'm sorry, my good sir, but you're fucking dead if Heracles is your enemy.
Yeah.
Because first off, let's take into account this. Heracles is the strongest man in all of Greece. He has, without a doubt, killed things that would kill anybody else, were it not for his immense strength.
The Nemani, the lion.
The main lion.
He
which is said to be...
He choked it!
Why? Because the main lion is immune to a kind of damage done by weapons. He figured the only way to kill it then was to kill it with his bare-knuckled hands.
And also, he has the constitution to withstand poison.
Mm-hmm.
From the Hydra and he's such a great archer that he one-shotted the fucking Hydra.
Yeah.
No, not even a joke. He literally I think like the mythology is that he shot an arrow that split into like 100 of them and killed all the heads at the same time.
Also, the fact that another inconsistency here is like the Spartans and Heracles. Like, Spartans are like, oh, Heracles, yeah, we don't mess with him because we want to keep peace.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, and it's canon that he killed the main lion. So here's the thing, that means he has his pelts, which makes him practically invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially adamantium. Good fucking luck.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
It felt like they decided at that point it's focused more on gameplay.
Yeah, at that point,
giving
it became
the players
more,
feeling.
It made them feel more like action heroes in the backdrop of Greek mythology than an actual respectful Greek mythology portrayal.
Yeah.
It's like the sequel trilogy.
Yep. Anyways, so with that said, then, let's actually now move on to the good interpretation, the good portrayal.
Well, there's an in-between, if you want. Like, good but also bad.
What is it?
The anime Blood of Zeus.
I haven't finished it. I've seen the first couple episodes. And
I have not seen that.
I'm gonna be honest. It's like I kind of like it's a bit iffy for me because here's the thing: the gods wouldn't, especially when they kind of like portray when they kind of like what else was like, hey, you can't interfere. Those are your rules. It's like, I'm sorry, are you back talking? Here's like, if this was accurate to Greek mythology, Zeus is in Hera walks up, like, you can't betray your own rules. It's like, bitch, are you back talking me? I will pip slap your ass in the next century.
I am
And
Zeus.
I will hang you in the sky again if I have to.
Literally,
Yeah.
Zeus is the man that will not hesitate to beat his own wife.
Yeah.
No, especially if she causes trouble.
Yeah, but as I will also put in Percy Jackson and the Olympians in that in
Yeah.
the book series.
I tried reading the first book. I could not get into it.
Also, Wrath of the Titans.
We got a lot of times in most media you just get the good in terms of it's maybe a good story or maybe kind of a good adaptation,
and there's some good parts to it. Like if there's like tiers, I would put Percy Jackson Olympians a bit on the higher tier on like this in between category. Like it's not completely faithful. Rick Riordan does some radically different things on it, like the whole Poseidon is a chill dude.
Yeah.
Poseidon was the most Poseidon is the most impatient. Zeus is just the more spiteful.
Yeah, but of course it's just a scale. It's still enjoyable. It's not like awful. It's not like insulting to the mythology.
It's just it depends upon your taste regarding Percy Jackson. It's like, do you want something? It's like, do you want something that's accurate to mythology, or do you at least want to read something that'll at least keep you entertained for the next however long it's going to take to finish it?
It's a good middle school book.
I only got to, I think, I got to where Percy got to Camp Half-Blood and put it down.
Damn, you were on the first book.
Yeah,
man, like you didn't even get to the very good stuff. Like my opinions is that my favorites are book 3 and 5, and then book 1 and 4 are the next tier, and the bottom tier is book 2. I hate book 2.
If that's the case, then perhaps I should try listening to it on Audible instead.
Okay. We have enough time to talk about the actual good Portrayal Greek mythology.
How I've missed you, Prometheus, my favorite castle.
Yeah.
Yes. Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Admittedly, this game gets off on the correct foot.
Yeah.
It immediately starts on the right foot and keeps on that foot.
And you're just laughing the whole way through. Any of the changes they made to the story is added more to the humor.
Actually, here's the thing. You also have to bring back the gods of Olympus by bringing in their flaws. Literally, the entire quest of Aphrodite is making her vain again.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically have to... They're too kind! You have to make them... I haven't read the manga or watched the anime, so I have no opinion.
I don't have any opinion either. I have not seen that.
All I saw was naked Adam walking down. That's all I pretty much needed to see.
Yeah, I it just seems to me as Records of Record or Ragnarok is just the same line with a lot of what Japan does with other mythologies is that their own thing.
I mean, it's
their own mythology.
They include a lot of stuff. I'm surprised that they actually pit up Blue Boo versus Thor.
And then there's the Fate series, which pits.
Yes, they make everyone waifus. Okay. They make everyone waifus. Automatic heresy.
Well, not everybody. Not everyone are waifus.
Yeah, not everyone, but
it's actually a very select few amount of people. It's actually kind of surprising, really, when you really think about it. That there's just you'll see the people say, "Hey, they just turn around to waifus," and then it's like when you compare to everybody else, it's like the waifus are surprisingly actually kind of. The gender bent waifus are surprisingly kind of small minority compared to everybody else who's mostly kept the same.
Still, they committed heresy.
Yes, it's heresy still.
But here's the thing, too. It's surprisingly, despite this, they also are entirely faithful to their origins. The portrayal of Oda Nobunaga is by far one of the most accurate portrayals of Oda Nobunaga in fiction.
I don't care. It's heresy.
Same here. We don't care about they made.
I've watched Fate Stay Night, and the fact that there is a female King Arthur, I'm just no! Heresy!
I haven't consumed anything Fates, and knowing that,
it's still King Arthur, though.
I don't care! They had to include a storyline element that she became a trap in order to make a man have a kid.
Well, that's par for the course for Merlin, though.
Yeah,
So-
Merlin gave her the dick.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah, there is also male King Arthur. There's, what was
Yeah.
it? Carnival
Yeah,
Phantasm? Yeah, that was what it was.
The original version of Fate Stay was actually going to keep King Arthur a male, and then
Yeah,
Portrayal was
and
going to be a female.
Shira was going to be a girl.
Yeah, they reversed it because they didn't think it would sell well.
yes.
You have one of the most notable
Well, the thing is,
characters in mythology.
the thing is actually, Type Moon, the people that make the entire series, they were soft Dojin developers.
Of course, that explains.
Well, that explains the one fucking scene with the witch.
Okay, can we? All right, let's just move forward.
Like, just remember this. Like, this is kind of like where you kind of understand their philosophy. It's just you always have to remember this. Is that at some point or another, you have to remember this, that the entire Fate series used to be a light porn.
Yes, of course.
That's probably why its Dojin sell so well.
Okay, let's. All right. Anyway, back
Surprisingly,
to
though, I've actually looked into this myself. There's a surprisingly shocking, there's actually not a whole lot of sex scenes in the entire story.
Oh,
I don't
except
care.
that Fate Stay Night itself used to be an H game. Now they've taken out all of the good parts.
It's back then, I actually counted, there were only 2 in the Fate route, 1 in Unlimited Blade Works, then there were about 4 to 5 in Heaven's Feel.
Yeah. My point is they took all those out.
And my point is they committed heresy.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they committed heresy when they took them out too. So
No, they committed heresy by the concept.
No, first they committed heresy by gender bending King Arthur, then they committed heresy by taking them out. I'm sorry, but my heresy trumps yours.
Yeah.
It's,
Sorry.
no. Yeah, I mean, I will still stand by the point. Surprisingly speaking, they are extremely faithful to their outdated, despite literally gender bending some of their cast members.
You are talking to a person that is a knight.
I will die on this damn hill to the end of my days.
Can we just move on from this hill and go
Yes,
back to the hill of Greek mythology?
Yes. Okay, so over to the game commonly called Greek mythology. It is called as such because it is mythology.
It is.
It is. Yeah. It essentially essentially, you would be very confused and think, "Oh God, Ubisoft making our Greek mythology game. Is this going to be like Odyssey all over again?" Nope.
Yeah, the game literally starts that's literally the beginning. No, it actually begins with Typhoon taking out a goddess, but then it goes to this scene.
Yeah, and actually, here, I even have a neat little thing that's supposed to be our outro. This is my outro.
Perfectly passable storytelling. I won't lie, there were moments that dragged, but you really got me with that ending. Now, let's settle up. Time for you to help me against Typhon.
It's not over yet. Not by a long shot.
Did you read all those credits?
By Zeus, by Zeus, by Zeus, by Zeus, by Zeus.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
Mystic.
And
guys.
And the game that we nickname Green Mythology is called Immortals: Phoenix Rising. It came out last year, I think.
Yeah, it came out last year. Actually,
it came out under the radar, which was surprising.
Yeah, it was announced.
I actually knew about the game. I actually knew about the game because I actually played the demo of it on Stadia. It was actually pretty interesting how it started off. It gave me kind of the right and wrong vibes early on. It was it's kind of strange. They still keep the weird accents they do, but I actually like this. I laughed a lot when I heard when Zeus just keeps contradicting what Prometheus sets up. Literally the bot. Literally, the beginning, he contradicts himself 3 times. By having this be an extremely dangerous thing. And then they put the fact that they put in lasers by saying, suddenly the Cyclops, you shoot lasers. What?
And then also, that sounds like a name of a bird that sets itself on fire. That's actually not a bad idea. I gotta write that down.
I also like the moments when Zeus admits he did something terrible, and Prometheus goes, "You did what?"
Yeah, there are times when I actually remember this. It's like, oh wait, I try to remember like which gods was what. I think like he remember like admitting to like. I'm trying to remember because Prometheus was like surprised, like, wait, I thought they were on vacation. I thought they were on holiday.
Oh yeah, it was Midas.
Mm-hmm.
It's Midas. What you did? Wait, that's what happened to Midas? I was told she was visiting her aunt.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, well, I heard once we recently saying Batman can be considered, granted, it's more of a in the character. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
Also, hello, Space
later
Junk.
episode. It could be a later thing. But yeah, right today we're focusing on Greeks.
Oh, by the way, welcome to Space Junk. And also, for those of you who are wondering, Ned's profile picture was made by Space Junk right over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I figured I was contemplating just using my regular one, which is the one that Crow commissioned for me. But then I thought, it's mythology. A dragon will work better.
Yeah.
So, you could check out Space Junk. Don't you like? If I remember correctly, Space Junk has like a Pixiv and a DeviantArt. Check him out on either of those websites. I may be wrong on either one of those two, but yeah, check him out. He has some really fucking amazing art.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So,
The
I
man,
also-
you are talented by all the gods, my man.
Yeah.
But yes,
Back to Immortals: Phoenix Rising. What's so funny about that game? Once you realize that, because as you go through the story, you begin to realize that this is basically Zeus's therapy session.
Yeah.
yeah, the game
And-
highlights that it's like Zeus does all these horrible things to people, and it's
Honestly-
to point them out.
Honestly, like with my training of being a layman's therapist, a counselor, like playing that game, you actually see Zeus going through the stages of realization, shock, then acceptance.
Yeah.
But the biggest twist of the entire game is a nice little ember on a little comment on it. It's a nice little touch. Like, do you want to know the twist, Nev?
Yes, please.
The main character. Guess what the main character of the game is.
Not Zeus.
No, like guess the origins of the main character.
Is he another son of Zeus?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes, and this entire time Zeus was disregarding Phoenix, and then the twist reveal is that's one of your childs, and furthermore it just shows this to Zeus that he treats that throughout the entire game you're pointing the gods back together, and it's like you've done these terrible things to your children.
Yeah, and then like so, because essentially what Phoenix is actually a character in the game, so it's not like a complete player character. So the main
Phoenix canonically though is established to be a woman.
okay, but which is okay for this one. Like
The game does like change. And the game does like change the pronouns regarding to it, depending upon which player you play. So either or you want to.
But I think it's us. I was wondering if you pick like a woman, that Zeus would make a joke about that, because Zeus would do that. Like depending on your actions in the game or the places you go to, he makes a comment about it. That's always hilarious. So, and it also would make sense that that Zeus would actually ignore that his daughter is the one who saves the world. He has a daughter because in mythology, Greek mythology, there's
Now-
very few women were named after being like a child of a god.
Yeah. So this kind of ties into the fact that it portrays Zeus as either completely good or completely terrible.
Now
Is
my
that
next playthrough, I gotta play as a woman.
Yeah. And so like it just points out Zeus's flaws, like the good things he's done, but also the many, many bad things he's done. And ultimately, like one of the things that ultimately comes back as like the game's central theme is that Zeus kind of messed over a lot of his children's lives.
Yeah.
And like
And
some
then
of the
you
stories
gotta
actually,
be
like,
the therapist.
So some of the stories are regarding about like downright depressing. Like,
Mhm.
when you really think about it. It's like you have Hephaestus, like he was the greatest forger, but he was cast out by Hera. And Zeus did really nothing to really help him, other than just make him a key forger of Olympus. But like when you really think about it, like I know like actually like in the game, Hephaestus' story is actually by far one of the saddest in the game.
Yeah, everyone hates him too. Like everyone disrespects him. Like even when you restore all the gods, everyone treats Hephaestus the worst. Like except for Athena, is probably a bit more. Doesn't like degrade Hephaestus, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Hephaestus.
Yeah.
He needed Hephaestus off the mountain because he was.
Hera's a bad mom too.
Well, there's a lot of problems with Hera.
Also, one thing
listen.
that's commonly overlooked is when you get the wings in the very beginning, how Zeus comments like, "Didn't one of his sons die?"
No. It was it was about It was like what was it? Daedalus, I think it was, and like how his son Icarus. It was like he acquires wings made by Daedalus. Did his son die by those wings?
Yeah.
Yep. I was like, oh, they got that right.
I think.
I mean, it kind of depends upon what you define as being worse than Kratos. Yes, like on the one hand, Zeus was indifferent to a lot of his children's lives. But ultimately he did step in every now and again, but rarely was it ever. And here's the thing: he usually rewarded his sons if they were really freaking good. Like take it like say, Heracles, when finally perishing, became the god of strength, and because of like he saw the achievements and rewarded for us. So it's like, because ultimately, like here's the kind of thing. Then again, it comes to the joke of he was his father, but not his daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a lot of cases with a lot of demigods. They may have been your daddy or mother. Like, for example, you have actually, what was his name? Phineas, I think it was?
Mystic Space said that he was just memeing. So.
I was trying to, remember, like, that, like, well, that,
Oh, no.
That Trojan hero, what was his name?
Trojan hero.
Yeah, he was a son of Aphrodite. Yeah.
Oh, that's, the Ennead? Ennead is the work that
Aeneas, that was his name. Aeneas, that was his name.
Yeah.
That was his name. Aeneas, yeah, it was Aeneas.
Yeah, but so yeah, and like that's like the overall story of Immortals Phoenix Rising. But really, the most fun is like when you're exploring this island that contains like bits of history of like references galore to various Greek stories. Or
like for example, like he even calls it like Oceanus, and what was like one of the other guy, like Oceanus, a guy has like 800 children.
Yeah,
it is like, man, playing a babysitter must have been hard.
Yeah, but like there was another one where like you go to like mentioning about the women of Lesbos. Like I love it how they incorporated some modern humor into it that makes it funny. Where Zeus is like, "Oh yeah, that's like the island where the women went woke and kill all the men."
Yeah, essentially, like Zeus was trying to, like, I am a feminist.
Yeah.
It was so, like, I haven't gotten to that. I really need to get back to
I'm surprised the game did not get canceled for some of the jokes it makes.
But considering how it looks like the game just kind of went underneath the radar, I think it kind of makes sense that nobody really paid attention to it.
But yeah, people look to like the gameplay is like it's pretty much Greek mythology, Breath of the Wild. So
yeah,
like, people...
it's pretty Breath of the Wild. Like a lot of people know that well skipped it because it looks too much like Breath of the Wild.
And thus it's like, it also does contain the problem of Ubisoft's open world problems where they put so much tedious work in it.
Yeah, that's kind of like what Kane keeps turning me off.
Also, you actually get like, I don't know, 3 updates so that it doesn't bug out.
Honestly,
I didn't encounter bugs when I played.
Oh, I was getting so many bugs. I had to update the game 3 times.
This was what I was actually kind of fucked by. Was this? I got soft locked into the tutorial. I didn't know why. And when I turned the tips back on, it was because they tried to introduce me to the camera mechanic. I'm like, I was soft locked.
Yeah. Also, like all the other gods that you get to interact with are hilarious. Like you got Hermes, who's
all right.
who's a coward.
Yeah.
Also, when you're changing your character, how Hermes says, like, how Venus goes, "What is this? Where you get your dental work done?" And Hermes goes, "No, this is where we rip the flesh off our skin and change our appearance."
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's actually one thing I very find also kind of hilarious. This is something I also find hilarious too, is that Venus is a massive fan of Hermes. She's like the ultimate Hermes fangirl. Oh, and then she's kind of let down by how he actually is.
Neff, what you were about to say something?
Oh, speaking of Troy, they know where Troy is. They found the ruins.
Yeah, everybody already knew that.
Yeah,
it's kind of like old news. Anybody that's Greek mythology today would actually know that Troy is now real. It's been confirmed.
Hey guys, real quick, I'm going to step out. So if I leave for a moment, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But also, so essentially the main plot of the game, as part of Zeus's therapy session, it's revealed at the end, the same twist that reveals that the main character is the son of Zeus, is that Prometheus purposely gave a nice little crack in the security system for Typhon so that Typhon could be released and start causing havoc, and turned four gods. So Aphrodite's, Hephaestus, Athena, and Ares. And like he reduced their power and made a mockery of them. And now they're residing on this island, and you have to go gather them because you need all their power. With all their powers combined, you can defeat Typhon!
Yeah, essentially, the entire story is Prometheus' story is telling you this. Like, I think it's a nice little joke. When you complete the prologue, Zeus complains about how long the intro was. Like, that took so long. Odysseus took less time to get home than it took for you to complete this intro.
Yeah, and so what happened to all the gods is that you got Hephaestus got turned into a robot, like where he got taken away his depression into a box. So that he forgets basically his memories, which is the source of his depression. It gets put away, so he's happily just building some interesting art.
Very interesting.
I need to reinstall that game and get to that part.
Let's just say the art. Be careful of your angles if you're streaming.
Yeah, it's just interesting art. And then you got Aphrodite, got turned into a tree.
And had her vanity taken away, and now she's all about taking care of others.
Taking care of all the animals and stuff. But she's still a tree.
She becomes a hippie.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's wrong. Aphrodite's like, did you marry to Hephaestus to take away her vanity?
Yeah, and then Athena became a child, and so she acts like a child, but she still is like super smart and stuff, but she's still a child.
And Aries was turned into a chicken.
A literal chicken, and he's a coward too. So when you first meet him, right, you see a bear, so you think that Aries got turned to a bear,
but no.
Actually, it's the real part. It's even hinted at what they became in one of the intro cinematics. It's even hinted at what they became. Yeah. So they did some foreshadowing for what each god became.
I think I'm gonna have to find a walkthrough of this game.
Oh yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Hilarious.
Neff, do you have a PlayStation?
She has a Switch.
Oh, you can get it on Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only downside they need to create a Ubisoft account.
Yeah, no, I'm probably not going to do that.
I mean, I did
it. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's
just turn off the notifications from them. All they do is just pester you about notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is highly worth it.
It's a small.
It's also on PC too. It's on every platform.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, I know the one of the recent DLCs actually expanded into Chinese mythology.
Yeah, I have played a bit on it. It's not as funny. The main game is absolutely hilarious, and I have played a bit of both of the DLC. There is a new the final one does a radically different gameplay structure. It's more of a top-down game. I need to get back to at some point to get a full opinion, but
It's honest
not
to
as
God.
good. Not as good as the main game.
Well, yet again, Chinese mythology, everyone just hates each other.
And
there's
I'm talking about the second one. So you
Yeah.
got the first one, which is Chinese mythology, but the second one kind of serves as a sequel, where essentially Phoenix
becomes a new god.
Is already a new god, but that version of Phoenix, whatever in your previous playthrough, has to gather all the other gods who decided to go before Time for God released, going, screw you, we're gonna have our own island.
Oh, right, the Lost Gods, that was it.
Yeah, the Lost Gods. So yeah.
Yeah, because that's actually one of the most interesting things regarding immortals. It was that's why it's Greek mythology is the greatest interpretation of Greek mythology, and is by far the most faithful, the most hilarious, and yet the most insightful about it.
I would say, I would say Hades is also. I would put it in this great category.
Another thing I would put in this category would be Age of Empires.
That's less of a mythology series and more of a strategy
series. But they have a sequel, Age of Gods.
Yeah,
where it deals with Egyptian, Greek, Roman. You have a whole campaign evolving around Greek mythology.
Yeah, the mythologies.
Anyways, so that's Greek mythology. It only took us about an hour and a half to finish.
Yeah.
And
Wolf.
Don't worry. Egypt will cover any lost time.
Wolf, one thing I will say real quick, just to prove a point, in Age of Empires, when it comes to Greek mythology, there is something you can research called Zeus's Wrath, and it's just literally smiting your enemies with lightning.
Actually, Zeus's Wrath would be the gadfly.
Yeah.
But,
all right, so
but it's not as flashy.
Norse.
Actually, I'm going to hold off on Norse for now, so we're going to switch gears to Egyptian. So
the one that is.
So let's. Okay, so how do we describe Egyptian mythology as little as possible? I'll start. Galaxy brain.
Very much so.
I would say unfinished.
They had something like 88 gods in the entire pantheon, I think.
Okay.
Well, Hindu got that by Hindu is a whole by beer thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we'll start with Egyptian mythology. How do we? Yeah, Galaxy Brain is the easiest way to describe Egyptian mythology, but to really get into the nitty gritty, Egyptian mythology is weird, fascinating, and by far one of the most mindfucking things you've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's not even one of the problems with Egyptian mythology is that we don't have a lot of stories. We have a lot of world building.
There's a lot of interest in the world, but no story surrounding it. We don't have unlike mythologies like Norse, Egypt, or Norse, Greco-Roman, and pretty much any other kind of mythology. We don't really have heroes in mythology Egyptian. We just have gods.
Yeah.
This could be the case that we probably lost some of it, but
I do have to go.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Check out the Fighting Experts channel. It's down in the description.
Yep.
Take care, all.
All right. Take care.
We're holding off on Norse till the end. Don't you worry, Missy. We'll get to it.
Yeah, we will.
Anyways, is your heart lighter than feather? Yeah, that's essentially
Yes, that is That is one of the things. And
Yeah,
then they
that
have an
honestly,
entire...
the afterlife in general is what we know most about.
Yeah,
we know
the
more about
Book
the
of the
afterlife than we
Dead.
do about what the gods actually like. Here, I'll actually tell you like one of the stories I know of, and that is how Horus and Seth fought. Now, in most mythology, whenever two gods are trying to start dominance over one another, it's usually fighting. How Egyptians decided to do it was they had sex with each other.
What?
What?
Yes, I'm not.
I'm
I'm
pretty
not.
sure that's.
No, I'm not joking.
Is that
They
just
had-
one of the versions?
Nope, I'm not even joking. Look it up. Look it up. Horus and Seth literally had sex with each other to try and see who would their dominance. Horus caught Seth's semen and put it in the river. Horus ejaculated on the cabbage and Seth ate it.
Good lord. I knew that I knew that this was like one of the most messed up religions, but good god.
Yeah, that's how weird mythology can get, and that's just one. And now let's move actually on to.
It mentions on Wikipedia, which is based on the Chesterton Betty Papyrus 1, looks like it. It seems like Horus and Seth had various competitions.
Yeah, that was their final competition. Their final competition is who ejaculated to one another.
Who thought of that? Which god thought of that?
I don't know. But here, let's actually talk to Osiris' story. See, Osiris was put in. Seth brought Osiris a gift. It was a coffin. He told him to get into the coffin, and then cut himself up in the coffin, and then Seth cut Osiris up into the coffin, and then threw him into the river.
Yeah, and then his wife, of course, Iris, was like upset.
Or
and,
Isis. It depends upon which. It depends on like your.
Isis.
Yeah.
Yeah, she collected all of its parts, but there was one part missing. That was the penis.
Of course it was.
So she crafted him a new penis, and then proceeded to have sex with him. And that's how Horus was born.
Yeah.
You see why Egyptian mythology is kind of weird in that sense? Is that it's
Sekhmet is another one.
You just got all this stuff in it that really confuses the first, that really makes you double take it like the fuck.
Yeah.
But it's this usual kind of stuff that makes it very hard to adapt because it's very weird and high and kind of high galaxy and very galaxy brained. Is that you kind of need to actually kind of portray on how it, and most writers nowadays can't even do that because here's the thing: they can't touch upon the grand girth that is the weirdness of Egyptian mythology.
Did you really do that? Did that put on purpose?
Perhaps. Perhaps I did. But yes, it's perhaps.
Remind me of when we ever meet in person to bring a spray bottle.
You're not the only one.
And I would like to remind you, I am not. I am not that horny. I can control it. Perhaps. But then
we don't talk about Egyptians here.
Well, we kind of can't avoid Egyptians without talking about. Well, we usually should have been making these jokes when we were talking about Greek mythology, but we're making it when we're talking about Egyptian mythology.
Well, because here's the thing: Greek mythology at least had a veneer, puts on a veneer of.
They give you some at least it's like some context for why exactly these two people are fucking.
Yeah, Egyptian is because we have so little context.
Yeah, so we just get these ridiculous stories, and honestly, it's kind of like the thing with the Egyptian mythology is that we have so little to work with, and contrasting to Greek and Norse.
Yeah,
so much so that the most common portrayal of Egyptian mythology is related to mummy's curse, or they just take take a god from Egyptian mythology and like the Egyptian aesthetic and just slap it in onto the story.
Because honestly, there's just
it's unfortunate seeing as how the entire civilization was like around for thousands of years.
But what did I do to you, Mystic?
What you're doing right now?
I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm not being harmful. I'm not stabbing anybody.
No, you're being horny.
But I'm sorry, is your horny counter going up for some reason?
No, it's yours.
But yeah, there's a rich and storied history of the ancient Egyptians, but we have none of it. Almost.
Yeah, we mostly have to do with the ancient aliens conspiracy regarding Egyptian. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the funny thing. Like in terms of portrayals, like I can't think of really bad portrayals of Egyptian myth. Oh wait, there is one. There is one movie.
Yeah, here.
Which one is that?
Gods of Egypt.
Oh God, that one.
I knew it. I knew you were thinking. I was about to say Gods of Egypt.
I was about to say. Oh, there's no battle. Oh wait, no, that one.
Gods of Egypt is the current, pretty much the only recent modern portrayal of Egyptian mythology around, and it is by far one of the worst portrayal of Egyptian mythology to date.
There is
not to mention the. Oh,
I'm sorry. You can.
Not to mention the fact that the armor was all wrong, the clothing was all wrong, and the.
So much was wrong with that movie that it would be its own stream to talk about how wrong that movie was.
I need to actually watch it. That seems like something that you like. We should watch it with Dunn and just do like one of those.
We did already.
Yeah, we kind of did.
Darn it.
Yeah, that's how Neff knows of this.
Yeah, I was talking to it, and the best scene in the movie was the one with the fire-breathing snakes.
Yeah, literally, Snick was the only good part of the movie. Well, then the God of Wisdom, he was always great. Every scene he had, was actually kind of nice. Yeah, Tom, especially the Sphinx scene. That was actually kind of amazing how he was prattling off random answers.
All right, I need if I can convince my friends then to watch that crappy movie. Some other friends.
No, I don't. No, not that kind of Snick. Not that kind of Snick.
Not that kind of Snick.
It's not the best Snick waifu.
No, it's not.
Like it's a Snick. Like it's just Snick. Just Snick.
Yeah.
No, just Snick. Snick is white. Snick is waifu. Snake is not waifu.
Where would Yu-Gi-Oh fit in all this?
Yu-Gi-Oh would fit in the.
Actually, that's a good question.
Yu-Gi-Oh actually leans more towards being good, but it is still within like the middle ground.
Yeah,
that's actually funny.
It took liberties, especially with the last arc, because the last arc took place in like the afterlife. Yeah, last one took place in the afterlife. And, I didn't get there in the anime, but I got there in the manga.
I already saw the first episode of the anime.
No.
Basically, where it had the pacing of an abridged episode.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it'll fall towards. It's leaning towards the good category, but it's still within the middle ground.
Yeah.
I would actually say. Oh, sorry.
It's better than Gods of Egypt. I'll say that. But that's not a high part.
Then again, I'm pretty sure the kids movie. I'm pretty sure like a kids movie about Egypt is probably better. It's probably better in Egyptian mythology than Gods of Egypt ever is.
Yeah. Absolutely true.
Because here's the thing: Gods of Egypt takes so many liberties; it's not even funny.
Yeah, it would be one thing if they just took liberties with the gods and made everything else period accurate, but they didn't do that.
No, they couldn't even be asked.
No.
Yeah. So I would actually say for accurate, like actually Rick Riordan did a pretty accurate trilogy called the Kane Chronicles. Like, have you read those books?
No.
I would say that's his best work, and that's like the one that. Then he did Heroes of Olympus. Not as good, and I dropped off from there. But essentially, the Kane Chronicles, like the whole premise is that it's set in the same world as Percy Jackson, but so essentially, instead of like the gods are directly interacting with humanity, they're more like a spiritual force that needs avatars to actually do stuff with. And most of it is just wizards. And the main bad guy of the trilogy is Apophis, the world eater snake. The giant snake.
No, don't call it snake. It's not waifu. Snake is only waifu.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like the whole trilogy, but their stuff, and it follows two siblings, a boy and a girl, as they reunite. Bad parenting situation. Father died. Same with uncle, I think too. But whatever. But they end up becoming the new avatars for Horus and Isis. And they had to, in the first book, they had to stop Set, and then something happened in the second one. I can't remember who was the main one, the second one, but the third one was Apophis. It was clear it was made so that Apophis was the main bad guy. But it was very good.
Huh, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I think it's the best of his work.
But so far, that's really the only good interpretation of it. That's really the only good portrayal of Egyptian mythology we have now. Just knowing that's kind of like the kind of track record we have. Is that we probably have like one or maybe two good portrayals, and then we just had a bunch of middle grounds, and then the very definitive bad ones.
Oh, I would also say for like Greek mythology, the Wonder Woman comics by George Perez is actually quite interesting of how he handles Greek mythology.
Yeah. So because the Gods of Egypt is by far one of the worst movies to actually come out. It's the most offensive Egyptian mythology movie that anybody probably ever seen. If you know anything about Egyptian mythology, it will be the most offensive movie you've seen.
I still don't know how Dunn managed to talk me into watching that crap. I want those hours back.
I mean, my payment before was time with you.
Yeah.
Then he also owes my soul. I sold my soul to a lot of people.
I sell my time to watch Gundam Seed.
No, hang on. I need to drop a list of people who owns my soul at the moment.
Oh, great. Okay. So are we now off to...
Well, actually, this is going to be an interesting subject because there's so few really adaptations of portrayals of Egyptian mythology that are kind of good. How would we do it?
That could definitely be in another stream where we might take mythology.
Yeah.
I don't know about Egyptian mythology. I
know a little.
Again, it's enough. Saying a little means you pretty much know more than the average person. You're less likely to learn about Egyptian mythology in high school than you are to learn more about how.
Most people, when they think Egyptian mythology, they think mummies.
Listen, you're more likely to learn about how to do your taxes in school than to learn more about Egyptian mythology.
Yeah. And actually, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself that made me not Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself that made me interested in that. I was already really interested. I just went looking for whatever I could find.
Okay, what?
They are the mummies.
No, wait, no, that's all.
25 BC. They are the mummies protecting the new Rhapsody.
Okay, what wife are you subbing for now, Wolf?
It's a girlfriend.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, he has a real life waifu.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He has a 3D woman.
Not a
She even
2D.
drew me. She even drew me a little. She even drew me a nice little picture for my. She even drew me a nice little like artwork for my birthday.
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
What is that?
that's a wall falling at the moon.
Okay. The image was a little bit small. Okay.
It also helps that the wolf's also our favorite animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Why don't just go on to Norse?
The only other 2D woman I think I would support.
Oh, darn it. Curse you.
What?
I don't like VTubers, but Gara's weak point.
I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I only said it once.
No, say it out loud. Say it,
Come
motherfucker,
on.
say it.
I missed it too.
I think VTubers are heresy, yet Gara tends to get me more often.
At least you're honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I can safely say without this.
Through the magic of the Druids.
Uh-oh, we lost him.
No, I just teleported him away.
Oi!
Through the magic of the Druids.
Druids.
Yeah.
I thought the common thing was a wizard did it.
Oh no! That's a reference to a game called Mystery of the Druids.
It is.
yeah.
Now if we gotta get you into the. Now if we gotta tell you about Mystery of the Druids sometime, it's the most.
Oh yes, it's part of our lore for our making fun of Roman Fox world.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have 3 kinds of Druids. There's the Roman Druids, then there's the Swiss Druids, and then there's the Albion Druids.
Yes, the Druids.
Oh.
And the Albion Druids are the superior Druids.
Yes, they are powerful. They're extremely powerful. They have mastered the art of time travel as well.
Yes, yeah, and also there's a Albion named Halligan, who's also a Druid.
Halligan in the game is essentially he's suffering from an adventure game protagonist syndrome, and everybody's treating him realistically for it. Is that they see him as this bumbling idiot who is just a crazy person a lot of times because he works off adventure game logic. Yeah,
but in the game,
in most adventure games, like the protagonist is kind of a jerk, but Halligan's the one that's just straight up a jerk. Everybody knows. Everybody in this workplace knows Halligan, and they're not going to take any kind of shit from him.
Yeah,
especially.
But then you got Larry floating in the air, sitting in the air.
And by the way, that's not even a bug. That's straight up word of God. That's how it's meant to be intended.
Yes, Mystery of the Druids is a interesting game. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and mind you, here's the thing: people who don't know Halligan treat him kind of cordial, but then he proceeds to use them. Like, for example, he will, like, the ship captain, when you actually get him talking, will be kind of nice to you. But once he learns that he has a cat, and then say he needs to get some salt for the ship. Because instead of going out to buy salt, he decides he needs to get salt that kind of on the side of the ship. So how's he going to do it? He needs a fishing rod. Problem is, the fishing rod's being used. So what does he do? He takes the captain's cat who's being let out to walk, unleashes the cat in the bucket, causing the fisher to go off to try and grab the cat. Halligan the process keep an eye on the fishing rod, only to use the fishing rod to get the bucket, to then collect the salt, and then he never returns it.
And then, in order to save the Earth from an evil druidic ritual, he stabs his love interest with a broken hedge clipper.
Hedge clipper. Not even joking.
That's
what kind of person was on LSD when they wrote this?
Here's the thing. I don't know. You have to ask the guys, but make sure you know some German because the game was made by Germans.
Okay, so the German shit is good then.
I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird too because here's the thing: the voice direction is actually surprisingly on point. It's just that they have a problem where they consistently refer to pizza as pizza,
and druids as druids.
Yeah, sometimes it gets weird. But here's the thing. Sometimes it's very interesting how the game has this kind of treats Halligan realistically, that he works off adventure game logic. So anybody that does work with Halligan for any long period of time would know that he's clearly not somebody you want to trust. Because here's the thing,
He
his
did
boss-
call it. He called for the arrest of Prince Charles after Princess Diana died.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so they revoked his access. And so they revoked the entire department's access to make calls.
Huh.
Or even access.
Oh, and also they can't also access anybody's either, so they can't even make warrants. Because Halligan decided to send out an arrest warrant for Prince Charles's arrest for having Princess Diana assassinated.
Yeah, and he said it was for a joke.
Yes.
Wow.
And mind you, his boss reluctantly wants to put him on the case. Because he can't even trust him into a bicycle. And to keep track of, like, what was it, like, can't even do tickets properly, essentially. The only reason he puts him on the case is because Lowry screwed up so hard. Or that he can't even put him back.
Oh, so that's where we got Larry from. Okay.
No, Larry's just the incompetent cousin of Lowry.
Yeah, Lowry is worse. He would arrest a man who would arrest an innocent man for like supposedly committing horrible murders, only for that person to get horribly murdered
in jail. And so it's like the man said that because he was murdered in jail. Like that makes like you just kind of like how they don't really put together the logic. It's like he was probably just killed in jail. No, he was murdered in jail. Because like this is the thing about Lowry. Is that he's really good at his job otherwise. But the one case he didn't put any effort to is like essentially the skeletons case, where they just keep finding skeletons of people. And Halligan with this adventure game protagonist logic is the only one that essentially puts together or that there's something more going on.
Yeah, well, without well, but the question is how he did it, and he did it with something that was illegal, corrupt, or immoral.
Like here's the thing, in order to get change from a payphone because he's lost track of his wallet, he needs to get some change, right? Problem is that he owes debts to everybody in the office except for Larry, and Larry won't loan him money.
And he doesn't have his wallet somehow. He lost his wallet.
Yes.
So
he also here's the worst part. Also, he has a pizza tab.
Yeah,
yes,
basically he got a bum drunk using medical alcohol and apple juice so that he can take his change to make a phone call
to the museum that he was outside of because it was closed. And now, mind you, medicinal alcohol, particularly it was 90% ethanol, with a bit of apple juice. That's essentially kind of poison right there. Like there was a time like Mandalore Gaming who was reviewing the game actually thought he killed the man.
Yeah, and then he turned out to be alive and accused Halligan of,
poisoning him.
Yeah, poisoning him. He gets away with it. But also...
Yeah.
Yeah. Halligan is just a special kind of guy.
He's the case of he's an adventure game protagonist. In every sense that he's treated as such, both realistically in the world, how everybody views him. Anybody that knows him for any degree period of time will know that he will catch on that he's really messed up in the head. He's also a conspiracy theorist as well. Which also kind of leads down to his credentials of nobody really trusts him because they can't really trust him.
He has a weird obsession with the queen too.
And then you turn over the picture on the back and it turns out he also has like essentially a dark poster of his boss on it, and he's throwing darts at it. So he has a sense of the royal family. He hates his boss. He is a conspiracy theorist. He smokes a carton a week.
And he just recently quit smoking, in terms of the story. And then, somehow, he committed cannibalism at one point.
And here's the funnier part, is that he tries to, they put me under mind control. It's like, when? And then, especially with the older, because this is a game made in 2000, so we had to work with kind of shifty CG. So it's like weird how you like... It's like, wait, like, did they put the spell on you, or was it after you began eating? Because it was after we get eating that, well, I'm sorry, but you willingly partook in it. He didn't even ask questions about where the meat came from. If anything, he seemed more bothered by the fact that he decided to try it. And they interrupted the fact that he was eating to tell him, it's human meat, Halligan. It's like, yeah, can you let me eat, please?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
The game is just silly.
Yeah, but anyway, let's go back to our. By the way, that is a good. Was that a decent portrayal of Celtic mythology?
Ironically enough, yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually say that Mystery of the Druids actually counts as a pretty good portrayal of Celtic mythology.
You see, I say this derail.
Yeah, so, yeah. Oh, boy. I was about to say something, actually.
Wanna go?
Oh, right. Also, now I remember now. Is that Mandalore gave me data in the video that the developer was threatening to make a sequel. It's like, I'll fucking do it. I will make a sequel to this game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so now we get 2 adventure games protagonists who are weird too.
Like honestly though, considering how Halligan's story ended, I don't think they can continue with Halligan. I mean, if it's Halligan's son, then
oh my goodness!
Yeah, one Halligan was enough.
No, it's not just his son. His mother is also kind of weird too.
The entire Halligan family is weird.
It's gonna be weird if they do that. But anyway, how about Norse mythology?
Yeah, let's.
I wish Odinson was here because he's like the biggest Norse mythology nut, and unfortunately he's not online.
Yeah, but basically you could sum up Norse mythology as revenge.
Yeah, a lot of time. Revenge story is revenge is pretty much the entire basis of 90% of all the stories in Norse mythology.
Yeah, just look up Saga of the Volsungs and read that. That's the whole. It's all about revenge.
At some point or another, I was wrong, so now I'm going to take revenge on you.
Well, yeah. Well, usually it was like, hey, you killed my brother or you killed my father. Prepare to die. Hello, my name is.
Hello, my name is Brynhilda. You cheated on me. Prepare to die, Sigurd.
Well, more if like, I'll have somebody else kill you. But other than me, if it was a woman. Oh, hey, Dr. Crow!
Wait, Dr. Crow?
Oh, hey!
Dr. Crow, welcome as we now talk about Norse mythology and revenge!
Hello, Crow! I will never stop thinking that. I'll never stop thinking about that brick, I swear. So,
the 2 most well-known gods are Loki and Thor.
Actually, 3. Odin's actually pretty damn popular, all things considered.
But my whole lead into that was that they are the most well-known because of Marvel at the moment.
Yeah. Wow, genuinely, I'm touched.
Hey, it's great.
And Crow, you're a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
And I'd say that Loki is one of the more popular because Loki has his own series now. But
I'm sorry, I thought I heard Pornhub.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ha 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 ha. Let's just. I would say though that they're the most well-known gods, but Odin is really in the ancient mythology is the central figure.
Yeah.
Of Norse mythology, like most stories.
Right, Hunin and Mugen.
Yep. Yeah, like the 2 ravens, so Hugin and Mugen, are Odin's ravens, and they are the ones that are like help him. I can't remember their exact roles. It's been a long time since I read the Poetic Edda on.
Okay, let me see here. Hugin and Munin. Okay. What they do is that they bring information to God Odin. So let me see here.
Oh, they're spies.
Yeah, there's
there's a reason why he's called the all-seeing father.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense because most of what he has been doing in in the stories is like he's usually spending most of his time trying to find future prophecies and trying to set up circumstances that benefits him with the knowledge of Ragnarok.
Also, a fleeting. Drunk Lotti fleeting. Everyone in the hall as they were mourning a god who died because of Loki.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that one. Yeah, that was actually
essentially is it would be wrong for saying that Loki essentially did the equivalent of the torture dance from JoJo.
No, well basically what happened was that all the gods everyone was partying and stuff, and they were like basically making fun of each other, and Loki was just like pointing out all the flaws of the gods, including Freya's willing to sleep with everything that has two legs.
Yeah.
Wow, she's
she's the town bicycle. But yeah, that's what he admits that. Oh yeah, he killed Balder, and that made all the gods unhappy.
Isn't Odin Balder's son?
No.
No.
Balder is Thor's son.
Odin's son.
Okay, yeah.
Odin. No, Thor. Balder's is Odin's son. Hogan and Magi, or whatever, are Thor's son.
Right.
And then there's Loki's habits.
Towing a bicycle means it's particularly refers to a person that gets around a lot.
And not in a good way.
Well, depends upon your interpretation of good.
In the fun way, not the good way.
Yeah, it's the fun way. It's the kind of fun way that gets half the town sick with crabs.
Or, that one, virus.
Yeah. Yeah, the urge to do kung fu.
Yes.
It lewd alert, dude.
Well,
yeah, we were trying. I was doing a euphemism, and you asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be spelled out. Mystic, if you look at my channel, you'll find that this is nothing new, all things considered.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look at our chapter
I don't
campaign.
want to remember that stream that you.
Watch 80 of the Tefra episodes. This is nothing new.
Yes, it's nothing new.
Yes. Like Neff has a bisexual harem, apparently.
Yes, I do. I'm very proud of myself.
But anyway, so back to Norse mythology, which is no different actually. It's basically the equivalent. Norse mythology is the equivalent of the internet culture. What would violence?
Okay.
Except this time, except when they're insulted, it sounds like going, "You know me, baby." It's like, "I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and it's such that they also have a deception with killing people and making them into stews.
Yeah.
And burn or they burn the house down, and then with the person taking their revenge while inside.
Yeah, then there's this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Or the time Loki got turned into a female horse.
Yeah.
Or the time he turned into an actual horse and fought a bunch of monsters.
Yeah, Fenrir.
Fenrir, Skull. No, okay, it's Fenrir, Hel, and Jorgmundir.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of insulting in if
And
you read the poetic edda.
don't forget Odin's 8-legged horse. Supposedly that's a Loki child.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Does it actually have 8 legs?
Yes.
Or is it still 4? Okay, I was about to
No,
ask the other
it's
question.
8 legs. It's 8 legs.
Okay,
It's a horse spider. Spider horse.
Spooder horse. Spooder horse. Spooder horse. Does whatever does Spooder does.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about, again, like revenge is like the core tenet of like Norse mythology, and yes, we're dealing with a more sanitized version of it thanks to the MCU trying to make it more sci-fi.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I'm sorry. I prefer it to be the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
As fun as the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, I prefer the actual myths.
Well, the thing is that the Marvel versions of the Norse gods are a lot like they stuck with more epic fantasy feeling in the comics in Pacific runs specifically.
Mhm.
While in the Marvel movies, they tried to do that at the beginning, but by the time of Thor Ragnarok, it's all comedy. It's all Guardians of the Galaxy.
This is like this actually something that's like kind of funny if it's like people praise Winter Soldier being the best. Winter Soldier fucked over the MCU the most in terms of immediately and then thereafter. Because then also like Thor Ragnarok kind of it didn't even take Ragnarok seriously. Because here's the thing: Ragnarok is the destruction of not just Asgard; it's the destruction of fuck you everything.
All 9 worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it sci-fi.
So,
You kind of downplay the significance of Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok is a big thing. In fact,
it is the collective end of everything we know it.
yeah,
Well, yeah, and
actually, the Bible uses Ragnarok as a prologue, I think.
Yeah.
Not as a prologue. It's more of like the common thing with all ancient mythologies, is that the world was already started as chaos.
Yeah.
Like so it's to say that it starts with Ragnarok, not really, because it was the same with Norse mythology as well as the common thing with Norse mythology, with ancient mythologies, with our big three, is that Earth is the body of someone.
Yes.
Where are they standing on a corpse?
I mean, technically speaking, aren't we all corpses?
No.
No, but really think about it. We're technically dying every second of every day, so therefore we are technically walking corpses.
That's
not how that works.
No. A corpse is dead. Dead. Not dying.
We're not zombies, Wolf.
Just saying.
Wolf, stop trying to be clever.
Yeah.
And, hey, is there all not trying to be at least somewhat humorous?
This is not humorous.
Yeah, the shot down. but anyway, like in the comics,
just like my hopes and dreams.
Yeah, in the comics, Ragnarok was written to be more of a bigger event in the comics than it was in the movies.
Yeah.
And, that's the problem with most of the MCU stuff after the first Avengers, is that they slowly took big storylines that had big impacts in the comics, and since they were well known, they just took elements of it and made them more smaller scale. And some of them should have been saved for later.
Yeah.
I honestly speaking,
Thanos should have been the precursor to Ragnarok.
No.
No, I'm talking about the snaps.
Yeah.
That should have been a precursor to Ragnarok, and then Ragnarok.
The overall point of this joke made by EFAP is technically speaking, what is half the Asgardians, and then immediately half of them left again? How do you kill half the people that were in space? In a spaceship explosion, how do you kill half that?
Well, the snap happened everywhere.
Yeah, so it already took the population that was halved and then halved them down even further.
Yeah. Thanos just...
Like, actually, this is a genuine question. What about odd numbers? What do we do about the odd numbers?
Well, it's... Apparently the snap does rounding. But that's like... What's just...
But my point here is that Ragnarok is the end of everything. Which is why it should have come after that.
Yeah.
Not...
Yeah, in the comics they had 2 Ragnarok type events, and it's basically what they did prevent like the total Ragnarok, but it was called Ragnarok because it was also a great deal of destruction to...
Oh no, I can understand why they used it that way, because that is one of the definitions.
Like really, the only thing
Just like Armageddon is.
Especially when they try to be like kind of deep, it's like no, Asgard's not a place, it's a people. No, the fuck, it is a place.
Yeah. It's a world.
It's like and especially when you realize in Norse mythology they actually have specific terminology of specific people groups.
Yeah.
That too.
Asgard, you can't just say Jotunheim isn't a place, it's a people. Yes, the fuck it is.
Yeah, because the giants have a specific name.
The Jotun.
Yeah, and then you have the Vanir. You have the other.
You have Alpha. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Hang on, the 9 realms. It was Asgard, Midgard, Jotunheim, Alfheim, Niflheim, Helheim.
Helheim.
Then there was also what was that? I'm trying to remember one of the ones. Fuck. What was like? I'm missing 3 realms here.
Those are the ones that I remember easiest too.
Yeah, let me see here. The 9 realms. Okay.
Okay,
Muspel, Nidavellir, Muspelheim, and Nidavellir, and then there's also Vanaheim. So
yeah. So it's not, but like Marvel has not, like the movie specifically has not done a good job with adapting even their own take on...
honestly, this is why Odin should be here. He's the biggest fan of mythology. He would go off the fucking rails on how badly they put mythology.
Yeah. But the problem is that they decided to make a worse version of the comics, which is their own take on Norse mythology.
Myth.
Yeah, it's their own take on it, which is like, it's fine for like a superhero universe because you're making one up, but then they made it dumber.
Because like here's the thing, all of these are, when you know the significance of Ragnarok being the end of everything, just having it be the end of Asgard makes the name really insignificant.
Yeah.
Like, it's really more of a title of a movie and the title of an arc, and it's not really like, I don't mind of like Ragnarok and not it being the end. It's like,
like it's fine if it's not the end, but when you just have it just relegated to only the one place and it's like that's about it, that's like really...
Yeah, there should be more destruction.
Like honestly, what was the only thing lost in Thor Ragnarok? Oh, Asgard blew up. That was it.
The city, just a city.
I'm like, this is like saying a massive catastrophe has happened, and then we only lost San Francisco.
Or New York. Or LA.
Yeah. It's like, no one cares.
Well, New York's more of a symbol than either of those two.
It would be
talking
sad
about New York City specifically.
Yeah, it's sad. It would be sad and cause a natural tragedy, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not gonna. Oh no, the world is doomed.
But what if it was San Francisco and LA then?
No one cares.
No one cares about that, though.
Other than loved ones that died from it, but no one would care. The actual cities would be gone.
It's like, oh no, it's like, oh no, my cousin was in LA.
Yeah, that part is like,
we wouldn't be mourning the cities. We'd be mourning the people in them.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway,
it's like literally like people like this. If LA was destroyed but nobody died, then everyone would be like, and nothing of value was lost.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So other adaptions of Norse mythology.
I can't actually think of any.
I'll start. I'll start with a more recent example. Actually, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I have not played
it.
That's also like historically. It seems like historical stuff. So yay!
It's a very. I actually should have brought this up actually because ironically enough, I should have brought the last 3 Assassin's Creed games for each 3 mythologies.
That's true.
Like for Origins, for Egyptian we have Assassin's Creed Origins, and for Greek mythology, so it's put in Odyssey.
I have not played any of them, though. I am.
I have heard that you can play as a woman, but
why though?
Why would you? Why? And,
that'll be a stream of itself. That'll be a stream to talk about in of itself about how Assassin's Creed, about the recent Assassin's Creed games, and how they're trying to be more historical fantasy, kind of lands them into not really being is kind of accurate to their own mythology. As far as I know, like Origins is the only one that actually is truly good. But Odyssey is a bit middle-ish, and Valhalla depends upon who you ask. Here's the thing about Odyssey. Odyssey is probably the best when it comes to being mythological, but also not being mythological. That you have these legendary beasts, but they're also at the same time not. They're at their full strength. At the same time, like the gods are kind of removed from it all. The gods are only mentioned by the gods are there, like they have their significance in culture, but you don't see the gods. They're probably the best if you want to go for a setting that's grounded, but at the same time, you still want a sort of a fantasy aspect. But let's be honest, there are better ways to do this. Yeah. That's like let's take a look at Fate with the mechas. With the mecha gods.
What?
Yeah. In one of the Lost Belts in Fate, the gods are essentially alien robots.
Darn Fates. You're making me interested.
Why are you mad? Hell, do you know that Odysseus Fate had a mecha? That's the Trojan horse.
Did they gender swap Odysseus?
No.
No.
Like I said,
the characters that get gender bent in Fate are actually not that many.
Yeah, surprised the amount of people that really really just kind of over what's the word I'm looking for?
Okay.
Really,
we had this conversation before in the stream. Let's just
they really tend to over
exaggerate.
Over exaggerate the amount of characters that are gender bent. Surprisingly speaking, it's a very few amount of characters.
Yeah.
Probably 10 to 15 characters in a cast roster and a total cast roster of 100 plus.
Valheim.
Yeah.
That
sounds about right.
Valheim, is that a game?
No, Valheim is a game, but it's also a realm.
Yeah.
It's essentially purgatory.
Yeah. Oh, it's a survival game. Yeah, definitely not my thing. Okay. But I would actually, if we're going into good ones, good adaptions of Norse mythology, and it's not going to be the fourth God of War, which we will definitely talk about later. But Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice.
I was about to throw an axe at you for that.
What?
I was about to throw an axe at you for that.
Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about that game.
Oh, yeah, it's such a great game. It's also a good. It has a good Celtic twist to it.
Yeah,
but it's also
it's technically both Celtic and Norse, so you could actually categorize it as both.
Yeah, but the fun thing about the mythological aspects is that more of it's technically not real because the whole premise.
Senua is suffering from psychosis.
Yeah, she has multiple mental disorders that it's a story where she goes to this island thinking that it's the gateway to Helheim,
So
that
she can rescue her
brings the
husband.
head. Yeah, more
Yeah.
like his head because she brought it with him.
Yeah, and
Because the head is the location of in Norse and Celtic is where the soul is, essentially. So instead of like the heart or the stomach, it's the soul, and she's trying to get to Hela to resurrect them now. But it's all in her head, and throughout the game, you get to hear a storyteller that influenced her, like her source of knowledge about the Norse and stuff, or what is called
actually,
the
like,
Northmen.
And here's the best part: and here's the thing: it's a psychological horror, and you have these voices in your head. The thing is, these voices can fucking lie to you,
and they can tell the truth. It's constantly
and
talking.
like here's like one
you're
review,
never
like,
alone, and it helps hype up like you feel like a dread coming over just in like stress because you're having all these voices. You feel like you're at Senua.
Like here's the one thing. One of our viewers put on headphones to game, and he took them all because he couldn't, because it was actually unsettling.
Yeah,
it is that unsettling to play the game because of how really true to accurate they are to how psychosis actually works.
Yep, they brought in historical experts. They brought in
they brought on medical experts. They brought on people who actually suffered from psychosis.
Hey, Genghis!
Wait, Genghis?
Yes, Genghis Khan, a friend of mine. He's he does a show every Saturday night.
Is it called 2 Cents? Yeah,
2 Cents Live, and I'm part of it. I'm only there for like first hour or so because it's late at night and because he's in the inferior time zone.
Wait, what time zone is he in?
He lives He lives in California.
Oh god damn it, Genghis Khan! You are living in the worst time zone ever. How dare you?
Yes. yeah. And remember, he killed Optimus.
Okay.
That will annoy him because he's a fan of Rodimus Prime, aka Hot Rod.
Yeah, and also like this is one section of the level, and it's really kind of unsettling too, where Senua straight up tells the voice in her head to fuck off, and when they do, she's scared because their voices were the only comfort she's had, knowing that she wasn't alone, and now she's left alone. She's terrified out of her mind.
Yeah, because the setting is dark because these are Norsemen. Like this clearly had an island where Norsemen used to be there and used to sacrifice people. You see corpses everywhere, blood. It's a dark game.
That's kind of like the worst. My time zone lets me stay up later than you weaklings. Nah, fam.
No.
Nah, fam. It just means It just means it takes you longer to realize how much time has passed.
Yes.
And
wait until you get a full-time
I'm really
job.
thinking, like, even though the voices consistently can be helpful, not be helpful, or just straight up mock you for listening to them, they're pretty much the only companion she has, and it's a real trip of the mind.
Yeah, and she does go through an arc of the game. Like Hellblade is one of my favorite games.
It's I need to check that out these days.
Yeah, you could.
I do know what that.
You got Game Pass. It's on Game Pass. If
I am aware.
I
actually got World War Z and wanted to see it. It's actually surprisingly fun, all things considered.
So, what other Norse media that's not God of War 4 before we get into.
We'll get to God of War 4. Just you fucking wait.
Do you have any suggestions, Neff?
I can't really think of any.
I hesitate it's just the last kingdom because it's more Saxon than Celt than Norse.
Oh yeah, there is that.
Yeah, but it's more Saxon.
Well, Saxon's German. That it's a branch of.
It is a branch of Germany, and Germany is just a branch of Norse.
Yeah, so I would count that.
Yeah, it counts on a technicality.
Like, is this Anglo-Saxon? Are you more?
Yeah, and then Valhalla, I would say, leads towards the bad interpretation side, but is in the middle ground. But it's heavily leaning towards the bad side. Like, it's interesting per point. I mean, I have to say, I never thought. I wish they do have failure in the game. And that's like, okay, you earn some points in my respect. So I can't.
But they lose it with the female Vikings.
That's one angle. There's quite a lot of stuff wrong with Valhalla. There's like a lot of stuff. Like I said, well, that's going to be a stream of itself. No, like it's just going to be a stream of itself. Talk about the feelings of the Assassin's Creed games in respect to their respective mythologies. Specifically, the recent three: Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Now, I was excited for Valhalla simply because Vikings and settlement management. I thought, that's fun. Settlement management. I finally get to rate stuff and build up my own settlement. There is no infinite rating, unfortunately.
Darn it.
Which is sad. Because why else do you think people wanted to play a Viking? Other than just to go on a raid.
Yeah.
To go raiding, that's the point of Vikings. Well,
it's like, raid. It's like raid. We take the shit and leave it for us.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you get to do the Viking tradition of burning down a few monasteries along the way.
Well, don't forget, it wasn't just stuff they were taking. I think they were carrying off women too.
Women, children, whatever could be best.
Anything that could be used for slavery, or like they have slaves. They raided. So
yeah.
We'll actually talk about. Actually, that's going to be a stream of itself. Norse mythology, particularly with the Vikings and how they're really represented in the media.
Yeah, that's the thing about.
Oh, I forgot.
What?
Vikings. I haven't watched it. It's a TV show. But
I haven't watched it. I heard good things though.
Good. I've also watched one. I forgot what it was called. I think I watched one I remember seeing correctly, where it was more about the life of a Viking village. I kind of gave up at some point, but I did remember laughing during the first episode where one of these travelers taking all these old men out to the waterfall, and he's like, "Okay, would you like to take the jump to go to Valhalla?" And it all kind of has it, and the one was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll do it to Valhalla." He jumps off the cliff, and none of them didn't. It's like, so would like to try? It's like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's the thing about most media is that I'm having a hard time thinking a pure Norse game, like Norse mythology. It's always Vikings,
but never does it really cover the entire thing. Oh god, can we really think of really no good Norse mythology? Because a lot of the Norse mythology...
Norse no good one that I never played, but is Too Human.
What?
It's that sci-fi one.
What was it? Wait, what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Too Human. Game copies physical copies do not exist because the company who made it lost a lawsuit to the developers, and they were ordered to destroy every single copy. So now there's you could get it for free on Xbox.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I'll try checking it out some time ago. And hey, if it turns out to be, if we can play it together, then yeah, we can do it together.
There's a 15-second, over 30-second cutscene of you being revived every time you die.
Hooray!
That's one of the things that made people not like that game. It's
like, this game is so terrible. I order you to destroy every copy of this game that exists.
It was more of a lawsuit over something else, but yeah, that didn't help.
Yeah. Okay. So,
it's heavily inspired by Norse mythology.
The only good adaptation of Norse mythology we have is Senua Hellblade, Senua Sacrifice. That's pretty
much. God of War 4.
I'll do a maybe on that.
Okay, what's your problem with God of War 4?
Like I said, it does. Probably comes from more of a story perspective, but also I could be somewhat less hateful towards the inaccuracies, because at least the thing with the excuse that Norse and generally Celtic mythology can get away with is that they have their storytelling is a lot less linear because they instead have they don't have like a linear line. They have cycles.
And also they have like it's told a lot more orally than as opposed to Greek mythology. There we have a lot more documentation. They don't. And plus, the viewpoint in God of War 4 is a very different viewpoint that's more sympathetic to the giants as opposed to everything else. And also, honestly, I think the God of War treatments of the gods, it fits a lot more with Norse mythology than Greek mythology because...
Oh, yeah, the Norse gods are more dicks than Greek gods.
Yeah, they're the biggest assholes. Let's just be honest. Like,
I can at least somewhat get that. It's just there's thing like one actually like one of my issues actually because of the not only because of the actual cycle of it all, it means that when a god dies, they are dead. The existence of Jorkmundir implies that Reinhardt's already happened. It means that Baldur shouldn't be alive, and neither should really Odin or Thor, because that means that Reinhardt's already happened before, and certain gods should actually be dead.
I don't know. It could be a whole rebirth thing. That's weird.
We'll see with God of War Ragnarok.
But I will say this: that the story of how what makes the story of God of War 4 interesting is that it's a story that's transitioned from traditional Greek tragedies to typical Norse story, because the whole story is like Kratos is caring about this cycle about the son killing the father, like because that's been like the thing that haunts him throughout the entire story. And when he sees Baldur killing his mother, Freya, he decides to end the cycle, break the cycle by having him kill Baldur. But then what that results in that Freya now wants revenge against Kratos for killing her son. In that moment, it's no longer we're doing a Greek mythology style story where it's the revenge, where like it's a lot more like internal conflict, like a person's actions leads to their downfall. It's now pure revenge. It's like, you killed my son, I'm gonna kill you. You killed my father, I'm gonna kill you. And it's just a war of like killing each other.
Mm-hmm. So much for breaking the cycle.
Well, yeah, he creates a new one, but he breaks his curse, but he inadvertently makes a new cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, broke the cycle, proceeded to start up a new cycle. You see, sometimes you just gotta let the cycle play out naturally. Eventually, it's interesting. You know the good old saying: as long as there are two people on this earth, one of them's gonna want the other person dead.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to let the cycle play out naturally than it is to actually interfere.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
Yeah. Also, it was fascinating seeing how they showed the downside of being impervious to everything. How that can actually twist Baldur's mind instead of making him like the golden boy.
The why you have to make Thor fat.
Well, actually, the thing is about that is that I don't like the design mainly not because of his weight and shape, because that it's more reflective of a modern bodybuilder, not a bodybuilder, strongman. Like if you look up strongman, they are actually of that same body shape because it's a lot of muscles.
No. It's not even muscle. It's actually like the reason I say like, yeah, that's just fat. Here's the thing: like there are people that do like have a lot of muscle, or like they would look to you, but it's a lot of muscle. It's not even muscle there.
Well, But the problem is, it's the outfit. If you put a more outfit that covers the belly, you would not assume that it's fat. And yes, there's people whose bodies are designed like where most of the fat goes into the belly on that, because most of your muscles that you're using is going to be on your legs and your arms and your back, not so much your abdomen. And also the like I don't like that outfit. Like that outfit is so why doesn't he have a shirt on?
Yeah, look, boobs.
Oh.
Yes, boobs.
Oh my god, no. No, why? Why would... it makes no sense to me.
Well, here's the thing. In terms of actually mythology, like what's actually given description on Thor, this is actually more accurate than paintings that were made.
But I know he's meant to be big ear, but never imply that he's fat.
Well, it's actually because, but the thing is actually the standards of body image of Norse people was very different from the Greeks. The Greeks was more of what we think of like fit, like the Chris Hansen, not so much on the Norsemen, because of various things, like winter is a big thing. Like they like, and like it's the same also in the Middle East. Back then, ancient Middle East, is to be fat is actually a sign of health. Yeah, like having a big belly. So Thor is like compared to the group, like the Greeks were the weird ones compared to all the other ancient cultures. The Greeks and the Egyptians were the weirdo people, like because everyone else would say he looks very healthy and very strong, except for the clothing. That's the main problem. If you just literally just have him, the armor that he has with him in the hood, he would actually, people would not complain as much. It's that outfit that was specifically made to showcase he has a belly.
Yeah, look here. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, it looks like that outlook, but has armor. Like it's a lot more covered up because he has padding, because he's wearing it during the winter.
Yeah. The other one, it emphasized the other picture.
Yep, exactly, Cengiz. Yes, Cengiz.
Well, no,
technically, I would be healthy too because I have a dad beer belly.
Like,
The problem with Thor's the first outfit you showed us is that it looks like it's supposed to emphasize that he's got a belly.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem. That's what I don't like about it. Why? I get it that you push tattoo.
Like this stuff right here pushes his belly up.
Yeah,
why? It makes him look actually fat instead of thick.
Yeah.
Like he's not even a thick boy.
Like that. Like it looks like if he was wearing a normal outfit, right? It looks like he would actually be more slimmer if he wore a normal outfit. Why?
Yeah.
So I think it's something with the promotional art team that somebody should be slapped.
No, not slapped. Shot.
Shot? No.
No, that's too far. Too far.
No, listen, no, that's too quick.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There are fates worse than death.
I
And I hope you listen to Mariah Carey's Christmas Time for the next 24 hours.
Oh my god.
The rest of your life.
Or watch Gods of Egypt for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
No, hang on. No, you have to do that as well as listen to Mariah Carey's Christmas song. On repeat.
At least they got the hair color right with Thor, too. He is actually supposed to be more of a redhead.
Oh, hey, at least,
Yeah.
at least.
And the
See?
hammer actually looks like a Norse hammer, right?
See, Hollywood? How come games remember that redheads exist?
Yeah, and also, it's so surprising that a video game can do more historically accurate stuff than a movie.
Yeah, it's
Like,
don't get me started on that. Hollywood hates redheads
Yeah.
so damn much.
Oh, by the way, there is a character that from an anime that if it ever gets adapted, I'm gonna dare Hollywood to change a redheaded character into a black woman. It's from an anime called Fruits of Evolution.
I think I might have to look that
Do
up.
you know that they did like change like Loki's historical, like essentially like the mother friend? I do know like in God that and Ragnarok they did like actually change the literal mother of monsters into a black woman.
Oh God.
In
Well,
what, God of War?
Yeah, God of War. They actually changed. Yeah. Okay, what was her name? God of War.
Race swapping.
Oh no, it wasn't that. I'm trying to remember. Him, Mother of Monsters. Here it is.
She's supposed to be a mother of monsters?
Yep.
No.
That doesn't look like somebody who would make monsters to me.
No.
And
No,
like,
it really doesn't.
people are saying, "Hey, man, y'all just racist. You don't like the fact that it's a black woman." And we are like, "You do realize that she's supposed to be the mother of monsters, right?"
Yeah.
It's like maybe. It's like if. It's like. But it also like the people are like, you just it's like, mate, just hate to, it's like if I could just admit that Kratos is a black dude because of his voice, like you do realize that he's covered in the ashes of his family.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's Greek.
Yeah, and actually, there's another point actually about modesty. This one ties more to like how a lot of like the designs of people is that you have like a wide range of people that are just generally kind of tanned to just straight up black. When the actual, or mostly it would either be tan or pale skin. Because here's the interesting thing, is that the Greeks, particularly using like recent technology, discovered that the paint that he used for the statues would have made them look white. Like particularly the Thessians. It's where where their statues were painted with paint that would give them pale skin and red hair.
And then there's the Egyptian crafting. They were
the Egyptian one is highly fucking. That one's a fucking landmine to touch. Where your ear called racist.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about their art.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's a couple. Jake has asked about which fat Thor. You have to pick two fat Thors. And then one that talks about Dune Black Girl Swap. Is he talking about Zayada's character? Like Johnny?
I don't really know. I didn't want.
Well, I haven't seen the movie, but the Freeman in the book is very inspired by the Middle East, and plus it's a sci-fi story.
There I'm less critical on.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi story. I don't.
Seriously, I can actually like accept. Like I can accept that because here's like the kind of like the thing is that you kind of have the biodiversity. It'd only be the problem listen, like the problem that people actually have with race swapping is less that you turn a character into a black person. Like, why did you make a character black other than you just want a black guy or a black girl? So
Yeah.
you need to do it for really no perceivable reason other than to get brownie points.
It's like, why are you doing that? That shows a real lack of creativity.
If anything, actually, it's actually kind of insulting as well. It's like,
Yeah.
so you think black people can't? So you think that the only reason that? So you think like the only way that you can have any kind of black representation is if you race swap people? Yeah, it's like
Okay.
No.
Okay, it's it's another character, Lieutenant Kines.
They're actually it's like It's like sometimes like
It's a
people
gender and it looks like a gender and
it's
race.
it's
It's a minor character. Like the thing is about Dune is that like to think of it totally based on it's a minor character. It's not like a major character in the book and who quickly dies. Like spoiler alert for the first Dune movie, the vast majority of the cast gets killed off. And I haven't even watched the movie, but I know about it because I read the book. And in the book, most of those cast members died, straight up, because the movie covers the first half of the book.
Yeah,
And like,
anyways, sorry to interrupt you. Just
yeah. I'm just saying this. I know it's off topic, but it's like,
yeah, it's something to bring up though. Like, but yeah, it's like that's honestly a topic I'd rather not. That's actually like a topic discussion I actually really like to keep off. But I don't really want to cover really.
Yeah,
the entire and like we can cover that if it's in relation to another topic, but I don't want to get too deep into it because that's a fucking minefield.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah. Well, for me, it's more of like it's all about specifics.
Yeah.
On that, it's like I'm at the point where saying something is gender race swap because of politics is a bad argument.
It really actually depends because there's like if it's like a good actor, for example, Morgan Freeman's character Shawshank Redemption, he's supposed to be Irish, but Morgan Freeman's a really good actor, so you can kind of ignore that fact.
Yeah, give him a wig and he'll be fine.
Yeah, and based on what I heard, that most people, and it's not just like most critics, it's just most people who watched the Doom movie really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
I've heard of people enjoy it, but I do know like one friend is gonna like wait and hear from a Dune fan. Yeah. So in regards to really everything regarding Norse, this one's got to be a topic of its own.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, with Norse, well, at most of these that we talked about today could be their own topics.
Yeah,
but
like,
the problem when it comes to is that other than Greek mythology, there's
less representation and less material on every other type of mythology.
Yeah.
And it's like surprising really because it's like you will learn about Norse mythology one way or another, but really the most talked about ever is it's usually Greek or Roman. But even then Roman just is literally just a copy pasta. They literally just copy paste, change a few names. Literally it's the hey, copy your homework, sure, just change around. Sure, just change around a few inches so it looks different. Okay. Unfortunately, we get our modern name of Hercules from the Romans. What his name is Heracles or Alcides or Alcides. But his name is actually Heracles. The one like the interpretation of why he was renamed to Heracles was supposed to, say Hera. They also say she was spiteful. She felt if anything more spiteful. If anything, like really, if you want like the most villainous Greek goddess, there you go.
Yeah.
Hera is the easiest one to make it. Like if you really know anything about Greek mythology, Hera is the one that is the most easy to portray as the villain. Is actually probably the closest you got to a villainous goddess.
Yeah,
an actual villainous goddess. Yes.
Yeah, because all of her actions are labeled in spite. Right. And by far she is, because like just remember this, the only child of Zeus she was even remotely okay with was Athena, because she had no mother inside that she could tell, and she literally popped out of his head. And so consider that as a fact that Hera is the only child that Hera actually likes is the one that she can't really tell whose mother it is. So she could just only assume that she was just some weird shit happened, and out comes a child from Zeus.
Hera is a meeting and needs a timeout.
Yeah, of all the Greek gods, she's the most deserving of that.
But then again, did you know about how Hera and Zeus got married?
Yeah, I know that. I know, like,
which, by the way, Immortals mentioned it, which was hilarious.
What was it? I forgot actually.
He met. Like, it's later in the game where like where Zeus admits that he basically transformed to like a bird to get into Hera's pants. And yeah, and
it's not the first time he's turned into a bird to do that.
Yep. 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 Much like Vegas says, and Zeus can't keep it in his pants, and yeah, he basically.
If he had
he didn't learn. He continues his non-consensual ways on Hera, and Hera was so embarrassed and forced Zeus to marry her.
Well, we all know what he says. Hera was fine, and then along came Zeus.
Yes.
That's just where I was though.
I'm actually surprised that we have not used that clip at all.
I don't have that clip, unfortunately.
Oh man!
You should have. Yeah, you would think that would be the clip you would get.
Especially
don't worry. Don't worry. I didn't think of it, so don't worry. We'll get it soon. But with that in regard, actually, I might as well move on. Talk about this. Actually, did you know the Castor and Pollux were born from an egg?
Wait.
What?
Who? Which one?
Dioscuri, the twins.
Oh,
yeah. Castor and Pollux.
Oh, yeah, those two.
Yeah. Because Zeus had sex with a woman as a goose, and before she popped an egg.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently in the world of Greek mythology, you just need one person to be an animal in order to give birth the way of an animal.
Then you also have to question this: how painful was giving birth to the Minotaur?
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to the degree details on a more private stream.
No, I would have. I don't want to know about the biology of how you give birth to a minotaur.
Well, first you look into how bulls. Well, first you have to look into how cows give birth, and then you go from there.
Oh God, yeah. Ugh.
Yep. Don't worry.
You gave me that mental image. Well, I have the might. Well, all I can say is that I kind of have the might. Zeus turned into a clown, ready to go on to a woman to get her pregnant. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that was Perseus.
Yeah, that was how Perseus was born. Gold touched her, she became Pregos.
Yeah. Every single problem in the Greek pantheon is because Zeus has no self-control.
Well, actually, listen. Everything has happened because along came Zeus. It's like the Titans. Like the Titan thought he was successful, and then along came Zeus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So actually, yeah, that just about covers it.
Yeah, covers the first episode. Nearly 3 hours.
You know, I might as well actually end this with. So we're going to talk. So this, provided judging by the reception of this series so far, like how many people came in here, I could see people are kind of interested in this series. So we're gonna. So I think like the next topic we're probably going to cover is the lesser known mythologies. He's particularly heading over to like Shintoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and. We'll make like the next talk. We'll make the next mythology discussion an Eastern mythology talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe to get the excuse to actually read some. I read some ancient texts on Japanese mythology.
Yes.
And by the way, I do actually have a game about Hinduism and how terrible it is.
That's for that stream, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, what's it called?
Raji. It's awful.
Yeah, I know it's on Game Pass. I'll get it.
No, it's awful.
Wait a minute, it's awful?
Oh yeah. I'll wait until after the stream to tell you all about the horrors. The main horror of it.
Look forward to Odinson, but anyways, hopefully we can play around for a schedule next time, because I did want to invite him on for a Norse mythology talk.
Yeah.
Right then. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I've been Wise Wolf. My guests are Nev Champion, the Holy Ninja, and Knowing Expert. Their channels are down in the description. You can check them out there.
Also, tonight at 11 on Changus Does, I will be on 2 Cents Live with Changus and Company, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's on Changus's Twitch channel.
So be sure to check that out as well as check out Nev's works. I'll put those in the description one of these days.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I bid you all adieu. I hope you've had fun. I hope you'll enjoy this talk. See you all next.
All right. Have a good day.
Good afternoon.
Bye.
Perfectly passable storytelling. I won't lie, there were moments that dragged, but you really got me with that ending. Now, let's settle up. Time for you to help me against Typhon.
It's not over yet. Not by